All right, gentlemen, one more time, but with feeling. Go, Larry.
And now, live from the Man Cave, Studio B, deep in the heart of constitutional Livingston County, Michigan, on a Tuesday night, pardon me, Rant, with co-hosts Patrick Acton and Norris Hardeman, our ever-present earwig, the real Tim Allen, yours truly, Larry Parsons. This is my brain, and now your host, after he got the computers all fixed, Jeremy Scott Gibbs. Pardon me, folks. Pardon me.
Pardon me?
Pardon me.
Excuse me, pardon me? Pardon me? Excuse me, pardon me? Pardon me? Excuse me, pardon me? All right, here we're coming into the table.
All right.
Let's come to the table. Come to the table. Let's join the table.
Let's go.
Now that we got the gremlins out of the computer,
Hey,
What
you got to
was that
keep.
about?
don't
Don't curse it.
don't start that way. We're finally on, everybody. Thought we were prepped and ready to go.
Oh, that
and then-
table's not even straight. You know what it is? It's when you leave town and you leave your cat with like a sitter for 4 days and you come back and it's all pissed at you.
Yes.
Well, that computer, why it crashed, I don't know, but it did its own update, and every time they do updates, they screw up your stuff. Yeah. So, welcome everybody to the show. It's a really big show.
Pardon me.
No, sir. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Mr. Coffee was going to join us, but he started feeling ill during dinner.
He found some weather.
Not from the dinner, but during dinner. And
He heard you were going to be on the show.
he heard you were going to be on the show, and you hadn't made it yet. And he's like, you know what? I'd rather just bow out and
Whoops, wrong button.
not even be here. So, yeah, there we go.
So, no, Jeremy's going to be on the show. I don't know if I can take it.
Louder says that he wants us to brain him. Brain me. We're about to brain you, bro. Bringing the brain. Chicken thighs, some artesian mac and cheese, and Patrick's signature salad tonight for dinner. Not too bad.
Yum yum.
That wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
That mac and cheese was awfully damn good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. That looks tasty.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Gordon's has some really good
What would you call those?
casseroles.
Yeah, your
Oh,
buffet
that was from
dishes.
Gordon's?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
buffet-sized servings to do parties with.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually put together. some
And they're
decent-
fairly, they're
Sized.
good priced. And
Yeah.
so we go hit that. And
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you.
absolutely.
That was some good stuff.
Well, so you had some shout-outs you were going to do for this show. You're going to start with those.
Yeah, a little bit of update. Grandma was able to attend Thanksgiving. She was here for about 3 hours and ate a small plate, so she's able to eat some.
Good.
She had a good meeting this afternoon with a gal that's a nurse. She's a doctor, but she's also does the house calls things. And so she said, yeah, don't take that shit anymore. Don't take that shit anymore. Don't take that shit anymore. And we're just going to regulate, and gave her a chart how to do it. And then I took her over to the Vitamin Company in Brighton, and I didn't pull up a graphic to show you guys those, but if you look up the Vitamin Company in downtown Brighton,
Good spot. I was just there before he came here.
yeah,
Loaded up on all kinds of stuff. Great conversation. Very knowledgeable people. And if you go in there with a challenge or concern, they will set you in the right direction.
Nice.
they're awesome people. Let me see if this pulls up here.
Do they have any anti-libtard pills?
Oh.
I don't know
They're
about
red in
that.
color.
Be awfully damn big pill to
Yeah,
have to
they are.
swallow.
Actually, those pills aren't swallowed; they go in a different end, and they're big and red and about the size of your fist.
All right, then. Okay, I'm just going to pull this one up, just give you guys an idea here. So I tried to clicked on website there,
Oh yeah.
and I got, would you like to buy this domain name? So I'm just assuming it's a nice, it's a decent sized shop, but it's got a very what would you call it, Patrick?
They've got a very
Unsophisticated feel.
yes.
They're you can tell that they're more focused on
It's not fancy,
health
in other
and-
words.
the health and the products to make sure
But
people
I can
have.
tell you the one-off things that you cannot find anywhere else, they've got it.
Oh, nice.
You know, they've asked me, what would you try? Are you drinking SEIT? I said, yeah, I buy it from you guys. You know?
Right.
Yeah. I've been to multiple other, vitamin stores around the area, and I'm not talking just Brighton. I'm talking Flint. I'm talking Detroit, whatever. They have whatever you need. They've got it.
Yeah.
And if they don't have it immediately, they can get it. But with the supply that they have in that place, they pretty much got everything.
Yeah, and they were even I don't want to get into it too deep on this show, but I've been doing some heavy studies on what they call cell salts, or some people like to call them tissue salts.
Yeah.
And suffice it to say, tissue salts or cell salts are there's like 27 or more salts, but there are 12 basic salts, and they're tied directly into your zodiac chart.
Yeah.
And for the 9 months that you are in the womb, you get those 9 salts that are under those zodiac signs.
Hmm.
And then the 3 months you're not in the womb, you're missing those 3 salts. And then you
So
go,
that's why we spend the rest of our lives trying to get back in.
no, Larry. So under your zodiac sign, they have a whole chart, and they list out all the ailments that are typical, not automatic or absolute, but typical for anybody under that zodiac sign.
Yeah.
And then what it means is, so I'm under the Scorpio. So what it means is I missed out on the cell salt for December, January, and February. And if you get those salts, you balance out what you're deficient in being born under that sign.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting when you dive into it, how much we're tied to just how God created us and tied us to everything in creation, and how important it is to do that. And then there's also other things. There's other stuff I've taken to writing down specific words, like energy.
Yeah.
It's down there on my notepad. So I write the word energy on my notepad. I put my water on that word. And when I pick it up, I give my water a little stir, and water has a memory.
Oh, it does.
And it's just those interesting little things.
That's cool.
And so if there's something in your life health-wise or something like that, it goes back to if you have ever heard of the rice test. You cook up a batch of rice, and then you divide it equally into 2 jars, and you write love on one jar and hate on the other, and walk by it every day at some point in the day and acknowledge both jars, the love jar and the hate jar. And that's all you have to do. The hate jar will putrefy, and the love jar will last for a very, very long time. It's our intention and how much we're tied to that. And so I've been doing a lot of study on that. I'm not ready to go into huge detail, but that's some of the stuff that I've been studying on. The guys were asking me, I think you asked me last, what's new? Well, those are some of the things that are new with me. So a lot of the stuff we talk about on the show, it's political things like that. I do a lot of other esoteric and way out there studies, because I'm always trying to learn, and I can't always be focused on one. It just eats at you.
I spent a lot of time, and I am an astrologer.
Right.
I've done it professionally.
Well, I asked you during dinner if you'd heard of the salts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am, each and every zodiac sign has a body part that's attached to it. So that would make sense
Mhm.
that, the month you were born and the 3 months afterwards, those body parts would be important to you.
100%.
And you have to watch out for those body parts throughout your life to make sure that you don't damage them.
Yeah. Well, and they talk about how depleted you get by how depleted you can get of the other salts too. And so there's a good regimen, and it doesn't take much to rebalance them. Oh, that's a bad request. I don't know why that's a bad request.
Speaking of dinner conversations, I had asked you also about the blood type.
Oh,
diet.
right.
I just visited my mother for this last week,
Yeah.
and we went to thrift store Christmas shopping, which is always the greatest thing to do because you always get great, thrift stuff. And 5 hours we were in there going through the books, and I had to get 4 books, and one of which was the one that I thought I had heard you mention. You had read about some of between energy fields and some other stuff. On that chart, there's stuff about eating for your blood type that has some validity to it.
Yes. Yeah. Eating for your blood type's huge, and so I've got a couple friends that are vegan. A couple people that have dealt with. It used to be big to deal with the gluten allergies.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then you find out it has. I thought for the longest time, I'm like, well, it's because we're using a dwarf red wheat, and there's some details there. No, you know what it comes down to? It's the fucking chemical.
That's what they spray on the wheat.
That they spray on the wheat just before they harvest it to keep it from going bad while it's sitting in a tanker for months on end. Yeah. When it should naturally go bad unless you put it in a root cellar or you naturally process it.
Oh, Europeans are already saying or UK is always saying, how the hell is your bread lasting more than 3 days? To the Americans, our bread lasts. I mean, it's
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, it should never. It's not natural.
It's not good.
And it's not good. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff. We'll get into. Yeah. I want to start getting into that. I've teased it before. I think I'm really going to launch it here first of the year.
Sure.
But I want to launch the mark of an educated mind.
Sure. Yeah.
And I really want to dive into a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch just dealing with stuff. And it's cool now because a lot of people, Patrick's sending me stuff. I got other buddies sending me stuff of things that I've never broached with them, that I've like maybe mentioned and nobody paid attention to it on the show. And there's these people sending me stuff and I'm like, yeah, no, that's exactly right. And I send them back, the big smiling emoji. I'm like, yes, sir. Yeah. You're on, and I love it. So yeah, the cell salts, we'll get into that. I'm gonna do. I think before we really sit down and do it, and we may do a special show on it. I want to sit down with Patrick and pick his brain on some of his stuff, and then have him watch a couple of the videos and the people that I've been watching on a lot of podcasts, so he sees the correlation between what you've studied already and what we're doing. Yeah. So I want to get into that, and then some of the laws of attraction, like Tim was talking about, as well as the blood, the blood diets, and knowing that your 4 main blood types will help you really define your optimal diet and the diet that your body needs.
Laws of attraction. Actually, I might already have an interview lined up with a gal out in Colorado.
Okay.
She's been teaching and studying that for a few years now. Single mom. Yeah. So.
All right, let's do.
A disclaim.
Yeah. Let me click over. And
this is My Brain Notice, this podcast. If you've never seen this and you just tuned in,
wow,
aren't you in for a ride? Yeah. Okay, this is My Brain Podcast. Notice this podcast is mostly raw and unfiltered and completely politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas, the Pledge of Allegiance, especially the part about one nation under God. I saw a video.
It was added in what, 1954?
I know, 54. I saw a video of a bunch of kids at a city council, and they did a kid Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
And the city council let the parents come up front, turn around and say, get your cameras ready so you can actually have a camera of their kids. It was really cool.
Nice.
It was kind of neat. We only recognize 2 genders.
Dangle, no dangle.
Both of those.
Yeah.
As adults, we enjoy adult beverage. Is anybody beveraging this evening? I have some wine.
I think there's 3 beverages up here that are of an adult nature, and then there's Larry.
And then there's Larry.
Overhead. Oh, okay. It takes me that long to get the clink. I keep forgetting.
Click.
I need to change the overhead to a color in the software, so I can actually
right, so you can see it,
so I can see where it is.
Yeah.
They say the guy that
Color.
implemented the pledge was from
Yellow.
Michigan, right?
Really?
Yes.
The under guy, yeah.
Yes.
I forgot his name, but
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I think from
Right.
not too far from this area, right?
Huh.
And then Eisenhower was the one that
Yeah, it was
signed it officially in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, holy fuck. By the way, we cuss and don't curse or swear. Those are 3 different
They're
things.
3 different things. Look up the definitions. Don't be stupid.
And
Don't
we
be Jojo.
love our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, but we hate
Amen.
religion and religious hypocrites. I mean, true religion, of course, is the orphans and widows.
True.
That we love.
Correct.
But
Correct.
the most religious
The
hypocrites.
arrogant people.
Yeah, those we don't like.
Yeah.
If any of this offends you,
Should have left by now.
Hasta
Blood type
luego.
O, that's me, baby.
you probably didn't survive the first 17
Me,
minutes
me,
before I
me.
read the disclaimer.
Good. You may not have survived the computer crash and all that other shit.
That's true. Back to the show.
All right, let's bounce through these real quick. Let's see here.
Pardon me.
Mr. Coffee was going to challenge you
Uh-oh.
tonight, I
Pardon
think,
you?
but since he,
Larry,
Oh,
what'd
he's
you
been
do?
taking my
you know what? He's. I think there's claims on both sides.
Yeah,
Oh,
Who
boy.
actually-
Yeah, we like Mr. Coffee. He's a
Yeah.
good guy.
Go ahead there.
all right. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Except for bears. Bears will fucking kill you.
There it is. There it is. F-bomb over there. And Mr. Acton.
I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I can clearly see that you are unarmed.
Armless.
No arms.
No arms.
No arms.
It's only a flesh wound.
What happened to the no armed man? Where'd he go?
He's up there somewhere.
He's up there
What?
somewhere.
He's right there.
Oh, there he is.
He's right
Yeah.
there. You see him, Norris?
Oh, the stormtrooper.
Lego stormtrooper who lost his arms. That he gets. Yeah,
Yes.
that's when we used to pass it around.
Yes.
If different people did it, and then we realized Patrick's the only one that can do that. That's
That's
just the way it is. Go ahead, Larry.
All right. The Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, period. That is the Second Amendment. It was issued on December 15th, 1791, and it expires when hell freezeth over.
Fucking
From my cold dead hands.
Come and get it.
Come and
bitches.
get it.
Come and take it.
Yeah, come and take it.
Yeah.
All together?
A long habit of not thinking a thing wrong gives it a superficial appearance of being right and raises at first a formidable outcry in the defense of custom. But the tumult soon subsides. Time makes more converts than reason.
Yep.
I was thinking about this one the other day. Somebody mentioned it, that the stages of truth. Do we have the stages of truth anywhere? That the first stage of truth is
Oh.
everybody denies it.
I had that on. Yeah.
And
on
the
my
second
profile.
stage of truth is everybody ridicules it. And
Yep.
then the third stage is everybody accepts it as always been self-evident.
Right.
And I go,
Sort of like the Wu flu will be one day.
I shortened
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I shortened that and made it a Yoda version.
oh,
Yeah.
you're,
Just,
oh.
truth. You think there is no truth, then there is truth, you know.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. Never
Never
apologize and never explain. It's a sign of
Put
weakness.
your feelings
Her
hurt.
words down.
Oh,
Oh, girl, baby girl.
oh, really, baby? Oh, they cannot take the
There's
words.
another motion to strike her words again.
Girl,
We're gonna,
I don't think
we are gonna move and we're gonna take your words down.
I'm not apologizing.
Well, then
Okay,
you're not
reserve the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
You're
not
retracting.
apologizing.
Chair recognizes Ms. Green.
I repeat again for the second time.
I'm
Yes,
pretty
I'll
sure
strike
they
my
did.
words, but
That's
I'm not
right.
apologizing.
Without objection. Without
Not
objection.
apologizing.
Chair
Reserving the right
recognize-
to
No,
object.
let's go. Come on, guys.
I'll tell you what,
Come on, guys.
the only highlight in the entire Tyson Logan Paul debacle of a fight
That was a joke.
was the two chicks
That's a ripoff.
that fought just before their fight.
That was
an
a
epic
badass fight, actually.
battle.
Yeah.
And I think Marjorie Taylor Greene would whoop AOC's ass so badly.
Oh.
And I would love, I'm like, dude, if you're going to do a rematch of Tyson, then have AOC and MTG in there, because I think AOC would be running like that. It would be bad. What's the sticker? I haven't seen a woman beat that bad since the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction. I thought of it the other day.
What?
Green 2026.
26, 28.
Or 28. 20,
Yeah, 28.
Green 2028.
Oh,
Okay.
Really? You think so?
No, yeah.
No.
You think
Green
so?
I like her.
2028.
I like MTG. I think.
I don't think she's
That's a
presidential
good prediction.
material.
I don't either.
No.
Have you? Do you
Okay,
have
we'll
you
have to, we'll
listened
have to
her
delve into that.
parody
What does
account?
that mean?
Uh,
I think she's more towards the direction of president. I can't even say it.
Presidential.
Yes, presidential material than any other president we need next. I think we need to continue to go that direction more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see how JD does. I think JD could take that mantle and maybe have Green as his VP.
That would be awesome.
That would be good.
I think JD is definitely masterful.
JD and
Dude,
Green.
that guy-
That guy is freaking masterful.
I love the way that he just tore Tampon Tim apart.
Yeah.
I mean, he just like sliced.
Tore him a
and
new
diced.
orifice for his
Yeah.
tampons.
He just sliced and diced and peeled and.
And some of the people that he's interviewed with.
I want to say thanks to Joni. She came through.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, it was Barrett's grandfather that
Oh.
did that with the under God to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a local connection, but it's even closer than we think.
Yes.
Barrett's grandfather.
Yeah, or
All
it's
right.
a great grandfather, or grandfather, one of the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom
I
Barrett.
forgot
He
about
finally
that,
won
yeah.
Yes.
a race.
He's our next congressman.
Excellent.
He is replacing libtard liberal Alyssa Slutkin.
Slutkin's going away? I thought
She went to the
No, she's
Senate.
Senate now.
She went to the Senate.
Yeah, where we hope she gets indicted for something.
Yes. It's a shame that so many conservatives didn't vote for Mike Rogers
Yeah.
because we wouldn't have libtard Alyssa
Well,
Slutkin as our
it's-
senator.
Unfortunately, a lot of the down ballot races did not translate because you look at the Supreme Court, especially.
Yes.
Yeah.
The conservatives got decimated.
Mhm.
I mean, but I think
And now we got-
people just didn't
yeah.
vote in that race.
Yeah, we're going to have a joke. I mean, we already have, I'm going to be honest with you, the Supreme Court of the state of Michigan's already a joke. I mean, you have one good justice compared to a bunch of bumbling idiots.
Well, you got a bunch of partisan hacks, right? That's all they are.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Activists.
right.
they're not judges.
No, they're not judges. They're liberal activists, just like you said, partisan hacks.
Right.
Sorry.
I will say this though. In the news today, was it today? Yes. The Ninth Circuit, which is typically an extremely leftist.
Oh yeah, that's the California court. Yeah, you're right.
Extremely leftist court. The Ninth Circuit. Speaking of courts, this I'm giving you a little contrast to hold out a little bit of hope, Larry.
Yes.
Is that the Ninth? Rush Limbaugh coined it the Ninth Circus
Yes.
Yeah.
for the longest time because
did.
it was such a joke.
Yep.
It was clown show. But this is from MSN. Ninth Circus rules in favor of federal deportation.
Well, not as if they had any say so anyway. It's already law.
Right, but they were so the federal government has the authority to deport foreign nationals in the U.S. illegally over the objection of local authorities. A panel of judges in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously ruled they could have done what they normally do, which is be straight up leftists and
ignored the Constitution.
ignored the Constitution.
I think Trump would have just gave him the finger and kept on going. But
True, but this, for people who have never followed the Ninth Circuit and a lot of their rulings over the last 20, 25 years,
they're nuts. They're nuts.
This is very conconstitutional and is a departure from their normal whack jobbery that they do there. So
Surprise.
I'm encouraged that even a wacky court can get it right from time to time.
When I say the broken
Well, they
clock is
say a
once
broken
twice a
clock
day,
is right
Correct.
twice a day, right?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. The definition tonight of pardon. The definition of pardon.
Just like everything else has been redefined.
To release a person from punishment or disfavor for wrongdoing or a fault. The synonym of forgive is listed.
Yeah, but what is he being forgiven
Well, the
for?
speculation is that old Hunter there, his dad told him to plead guilty to all the charges because then that sped up his conviction for them and allowed for the pardon. Because if he's not convicted, that's what's fishy about the pardon right now that was issued is he's pardoned him for any future crimes. You can't fucking do that.
Well, he pardoned for all crimes back in 2014.
Yeah.
What was happening in 2014?
Oh, Burisma.
Burisma. Oh, yeah, where we came in.
Burisma. Yeah, wasn't that about the time where
and the
old
China
old
too,
dumb,
yeah.
old dumb Biden was sitting in the chair talking about how he threatened the guy. Said, "Whoa,
that too.
Go ahead and call President Obama. I've got the authority. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, you don't fire that prosecutor. You don't fire that prosecutor. You don't get the $1 billion.
You don't get the $1 billion. And you know what's also crazy about that whole incident there is that nobody calculates that when we look at the Ukraine-Russia war.
Calculates what?
That we overthrew Ukraine
Right.
through a coup.
Yeah.
And that precipitated the whole NATO pushing Russia's buttons. I mean, they've been trying to make Russia the boogeyman. Now, Putin's not perfect by any shape or means, but the dude doesn't allow fucking boys and girls bathrooms, and he's pushing Christian values and have a big family, and he's the one that's reluctantly trying to keep. It's like, dude, come on. All right,
Russia's not our threat. That's the problem.
Right. Well, and Trump keeps saying rightly that the threat's from within.
Yeah, well, Democrats are a far bigger threat than Russia or China.
Well,
I'm not afraid of Russians or Chinese people taking my rights away.
Right.
I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Do you know that I learned today that Japan has a law that no foreign nationals can own property in Japan?
You sure about that?
It's like 2%.
And
they have to give government. They have to have government. And like if you come there and try to buy a piece of property, you have to use like a proxy. And
that might be that might be true. Yeah,
okay.
I heard the same thing from Mexico.
You step wrong, they just kick you out.
It's the same thing in
Mexico.
Mexico.
You can't. I don't think you can become a citizen.
A foreign national cannot own property in Mexico anywhere within, I think, it's 5 or 7 miles of the ocean or any other body of water.
Okay.
Cannot own it. And that's to keep foreign companies from coming in and buying up that property and building resorts. They want it to be owned by a Mexican citizen.
Well, the key to this is juxtapose it with the fact that China is buying up a shit ton of stuff. Japan owns a ton of stuff here in America, either Japanese nationals or the country of Japan. There are a whole bunch of foreign entities that own portions of our country.
Yeah, and crucial real estate too.
Whack job.
Is that what you're doing?
Looking at the etymology of
Oh, whack job?
Whack job.
Whack jobbery.
Whack job.
That was coined here. Whack jobbery.
Not to be confused with jack and offery, right?
No, that's a jack.
Yeah, different. That's totally different.
Yeah, that's a
Speaking of
jack
which,
job.
I did not hear that.
Going back to what we were saying earlier, guys, you can look this up. Just type into your search at home when you get a chance. Type in blood type diet.
Yeah.
And this is just a visual, but there are actually lists.
I'll grab my book at the break.
I like his chart.
I believe
it works perfectly for me.
Yeah, I believe I'm type O.
Yeah, so am I.
As am I. Yeah. It's a meat eater.
Let's eat up,
Type O is
baby.
a meat eater.
Patrick, do you know what type you are?
I do not. I think is it which one is the one that can be transfused into anybody?
AB.
AB.
Yeah.
That may be it.
That is a universal donor.
And that you could be, you love to make signature
I
salad.
was a universal donor.
So B.
No.
You sure about that?
No.
No O?
No.
O let's look that up.
No, O is the universal recipient.
A universal recipient?
Yeah.
All right, we can.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, look at B.
Pretty sure.
That's you, Patrick.
Yeah,
Vegetables and meat.
Yeah.
That's a paleo almost.
Yeah, I like being O.
Yeah, so do I. I'm all over.
You know,
I'm all over that.
Every couple of days, I like a good O myself.
A good O. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Fortunately,
the
it's,
AB.
just-
If you are AB, enjoy your fish and your
Universal
your
donor, but
beans.
type O.
That's what I said.
Oh,
Type O.
negative.
Oh, negative. Yeah.
Donor, not receiver.
No, that's
donor.
what I said. Yeah.
You said receiver.
No, I
You said
didn't.
receiver.
No, check the
you
tapes.
did.
No, I never said
All right,
that.
you're doing a Democrat now.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. He's not pardoning Hunter. I'll say it again. He's not pardoning Hunter.
No, he's protecting himself.
I'll say it again. He's not pardoning Hunter. But he's pardoning Hunter.
They do not own AlexJones.com. They do not own AlexJones.
Well,
all right, switch off that. I'm going to change.
In the end, it's not about Hunter. It's about Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. Oh, see, I screwed up.
Would you screw up?
I don't like. I left the mini pictures
Oh.
on when I go to the super source.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at. I'll find what I'm looking for, and then we can go to that in a minute here.
Do
But we're
you
going to
have
talk
a
about.
button that goes to just the logo. We need to get you that, so you can shove it to the logo and then change your screen.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do it. I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So whatever you need to get off your screen, just shove it to the logo.
Okay, I can do that.
And then I'll put a transition.
Let's look at this highly impressive news.
Yeah, I know. Huh?
Uh,
Because we don't have segment bumpers like when you're going to and from, like the news break, which I could always, if you throw up the logo, I have to, the little drum roll. I could bring that and bring it back in.
let's look at this one.
Panache.
This is the consistency of the Biden administration here. I will not pardon my son. 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 I give my word as a Biden.
That's the key. That's the key frame right there.
I will pardon my son.
The word of a Biden means shit. But we knew that anyway.
The word of any Democrat means shit. Democrats are the biggest liars in human history.
I will not totally disagree with you. I'll say there's a big group of liars and they tend to congregate in the Democrat side.
Yeah, they do.
But I've met some other people of
Oh,
other
yeah,
persuasions.
everybody lies.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
It's just degrees of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they not only believe their lies to be truth, but they get very boisterous about it.
Oh yeah.
And they try to scream you down and talk you down, and you cannot get a word in edgewise because these guys.
Oh, they want you to believe the lie. That's the thing.
100%.
Yeah.
What was that? Remember that quote from Tucker? Tucker was talking about it. He was giving a speech, and he said, this is how they are. He said, it's like catching your kid in the kitchen with a handful of cookies, and he says, I didn't eat the cookies.
Yeah.
You got your cookies? And he goes, but the Democrats, they lie so good that they go, I didn't eat the cookies. You did. And you question whether you actually did and start to think about it. Did I eat the cookies?
The gaslighting of America. Yeah.
And that's how they are. They're so bad that they'll gaslight you into thinking that you ate the cookies.
It's just, it's ridiculous. I got in this. And this one, I normally don't get into the keyboard warrior thing, but this was one I would not let go of.
Okay.
Was, the question of saying Merry Christmas and having manger scenes on, township halls and city halls and stuff like that.
Right.
And then it was brought up, separation of church and state, and that, they can't do it because of church and state. It's
Fake
wrong.
news.
And I said, well, okay, so what you're saying is it's wrong to bring Christianity or Christmas into the public square or into schools, but it's okay to have LGBTQ month, and it's okay to have drag queen story hours with our kids. Well, but that's not religion. I said,
bullshit.
Yeah, that's all religion.
And I said, well, a little education here. There is nothing in our Constitution or anything in any of our laws that says that there should be separation of church and state. And then I got this gal that says to me, the First Amendment says that there's separation of church and state. So I took a picture of the First Amendment and I sent it to her, and I captured it. I wrote out and said, it says that Congress shall not create a state religion. This is combating the original colonists from the Church of England. Okay.
Yep.
There's nothing in there that says church and state. And she's still looking right at it, still was demanding that. And I said, the only time it was ever mentioned by anybody in our government was a letter from Thomas Jefferson to the Babylonian Baptist Church, Danbury Baptist Church, stating that there should be a wall of separation. That's it. There's nothing in there.
There's nothing else.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And that was to protect religion from the government, not the other way around.
Exactly. No, that's their shield that they hide behind so that they can do their religions. Atheism is a religion. The LGBTQ is a religion. Racism is a religion. All of this stuff. They're all religions because a religion is defined by its dogma. And whenever you have the insertion or the adherence to a specific dogma that dictates behavior, it is automatically a religious institute or a religious philosophy. Look at this one. Lock them up. I don't know who the chick represents.
Which one?
Why are we shifted?
At the bottom.
Why are we shifted on your laptop?
You know what? I can try to do this.
I mean, it looks like I'm almost going to say it's Pam Bondi, but I'm not sure.
It gives you space for the picture-in-picture, but I mean,
you know what? It might be my.
That's fine. Are we losing anything on that left side?
Let me. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I mean, we got picture-in-picture. Just are we losing?
No,
anything?
it just says they all did it versus hey all did it.
Okay.
They all did it. So, anyways, the whole point is lock them up. The sequel
should be bigger than that. That's like a small, tiny subset.
Right.
Was that Fauci?
Oh, that's going to be Fauci? Oh,
in the white
I see
coat?
the names down there now. Okay, got it.
Yeah, Fauci's in the white coat.
Oh, James. That's the chick from Georgia. Okay.
Mayorkas is the one pissing his pants over here.
Who's the one in the under? I can't really make out who could that possibly be.
I don't know. He's got a pretty white smile because he had all of his teeth replaced after doing too much crack.
Oh, you mean the guy in a diaper? Oh,
The diaper guy.
That's Buddy Hunter.
Nobody's above the law, but I'm above the law.
No, that's Fauci's husband's boyfriend who showed up with a hammer.
That was Pelosi.
Oh, yeah, that's not Fauci. I'm sorry, Pelosi.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Let's do this. I'm going to play this now that Larry has goaded me into it.
Okay.
Let's see if it works here.
Right behind you is a set of headsets. Would you grab that? I want to see if that'll work.
She never has enough time to get it all in.
All right, let's see what's up with
We're going
this.
to bring in co-host of The Five, Judge Janine Pirro. She's like a sister to me, and she also has plenty to say always. In fact, she never has it.
Judge Janine.
She never has enough time to get it all in. So now you've got plenty of time on this show. So what do you think? I know you're not surprised. I know you're not shocked, but you've spent years talking about this. So what's your take?
Well, I think it's kind of ironic that you've got Joe Biden saying that, calling out the media for mistreating his son. I think everyone needs to step back for a minute. And as he attacks everyone for, his son's wrongdoing, we have to recognize that it was his own Department of Justice that indicted his son. But they indicted his son after leaving the highest earning years of money that he made when he was working with some of these foreign countries, so he wouldn't have to pay back so much, but more importantly, so it wouldn't tie in Joe Biden, as it clearly was evidenced by a lot of the emails and information we found out. So that's the number one thing. I think we have to recognize if Joe Biden's complaining, it's his own Department of Justice who did him a solid with that initial fake deal that couldn't pass muster with a federal judge. And then, he ends up getting a real sweet deal in any event. So, and for those prosecutors who say they would never prosecute these kinds of cases, I wholeheartedly disagree. They do. You don't look at a federal statute and say, gee, they wrote the law, but he's a good guy. He's not a good guy. He had the gun when he was showing himself off, unclothed, which that's a moral issue and not a legal one, but with the drugs and the hookers, which kind of adds to it. But more importantly, the idea that people don't go to prison for a tax evasion is kind of crazy. They do all the time.
Else goes to prison
and
for tax
finally,
evasion,
I think that,
Little Hunter.
with this whole thing
Except for Little
about
Hunter.
the
No
pardon,
comment.
this pardon, remember, is before the sentence, before he served his term. And Americans need to understand that a lot of people get pardoned after they've, served their time, paid their debt to society.
This is key. Listen to what she's saying
That's
here.
very different from here. The guy doesn't even get sentenced. Nothing really happens. And it's like, okay. And I believe, by the way, there's no way he was going to not pardon his son. But I can't wait to hear from Karine Jean-Pierre tomorrow. And I know she's going to start out by saying, The president has always made it clear how much he loves his son. And the president has always been clear that his son had a problem, and as a family, they're coming together,
Judge,
so it's fascinating.
Judge Lisa Booth here. I love that you're pointing out, too, Hunter Biden's an adult, right? Like the media and the left try to treat him as if he's some sort of child. This is a grown man who knew what he was doing when he made these poor decisions. He's a grown man. He's an adult. We've been talking a little bit throughout the show of what impact, if it will have an impact, on the confirmation hearings for some of these nominees. What do you think? How do you think this plays out? Does it impact those confirmation hearings?
Well, I think to a certain extent it will impact the hearings because now it's kind of fired up again. People are going to, we're after the election. What's amazing to me, Lisa, is everybody I know is very happy. Everywhere I go, people are happy. But things are relatively calm. The left is still licking their wounds. They can't believe they lost it. They think it's a messaging problem. It was a candidate problem. It was an undemocratic problem that they had on the other side. But I think that this kind of it heightens all of the tension. And I think that it's going to make it a little more difficult than it might have been. But there's also that piece that, we've got these nominations that are being made by the president. And we're talking about Hunter Biden, Joe Biden lying again, as you said, on his way out, which I think is just classic and perfect. But, the good news is we have the Senate. And these candidates that the president is announcing are phenomenal, for the Department of Justice. Pam Bondi, I think she's a phenomenal pick. Yeah. I think she knows exactly what she's going to do. And I don't think there's any way that she doesn't get through the nomination process.
Can we just talk about the irony of the fact that Kash Patel was just basically named, the nominee for running the FBI, and at the same time, you've got Hunter Biden, who's just been pardoned by his father. The irony is rich. And then if you think about the FBI's involvement in the Mar-a-Lago raid and the classified documents, which, by the way, there were also classified documents that were taken from Joe Biden's home in Delaware.
He was a senator, which is worse.
It's crazy. And now
that's the key. Is he was a senator.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Donald Trump is going to let this go when he takes the White House? Is he going to, or is he going to spend the next 4 years trying to, prosecute Joe Biden the way that the Biden administration tried to prosecute and did prosecute Donald Trump?
Well, if history is any indication, if you recall when Donald Trump went in 2017, he said, I'm not going to indict Hillary when they had her left or right on the classified emails. They had her on the Clinton Foundation that hadn't had a straight audit in years. Jim Comey was the last one to look at it. And I think that now the irony is very rich, Julie. The whole idea that, you're coming in loaded for bear for president of the United States, the former president, and then, the other president's son is skating. It's really amazing.
Yeah. Judge Janine, I love you. Thank you so much for coming.
Love you, Judge. Thanks.
So you didn't really answer the question, though.
Right. What's your question?
I did hear that Trump said, that success is the best, remedy for this whole situation.
100%.
Going after these people is not his focus. He wants to just be extremely successful, and then being extremely successful, J.D. Vance will be elected in 4 years, and another 4 years of success will put J.D. Vance in for another 4 years. So we could have actually 16 years of Republican Party running the White House and our government, which if each and every one of them has the success that Donald Trump had in his first term amplified, there's no way that the Democrats are going to regain power.
They'll be done.
And right now they're scraping bottom. They don't have a leader. There's
and they're still sticking to their guns on their idiotic positions.
Yeah, everybody that disagrees with them is a racist and a white supremacist.
They're still using that same old playbook. Yeah. It's like you haven't learned a damn thing, have you?
And I
I don't think Democrats can learn.
I think what's your question, Tim?
Oh well, no, it's fine. It's just Patrick started making a good point, but it had nothing to do with the Hunter Biden story. I was just going to ask the questions now that we wasted 5 minutes on watching Hunter Biden. How is that supposed to spur quality conversation amongst us for the purpose of good
smoking
reason?
Crack?
Why to watch the video? I don't know, Larry. What do you think? You think there's a reason to watch that for good conversation?
Yeah.
Inside joke there for everyone out there. Larry
Yeah.
offers us videos. It's only if it spurs good conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Where's the good conversation from that video?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I like about this, and I don't know if you guys have heard it, but a number of people have come out and said Trump needs to walk up on that pulpit for inauguration.
Yeah.
And during his speech, slap down a binder with every single name of every Jan 6er on it and say, I want him pardoned by the end of the day, or everybody that is in charge of them will be arrested in their stead.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because a lot of people aren't realizing this, but Hunter Biden getting this pardon means that no matter what he says, they can't use it against him in a court of law. So he no longer has Fifth Amendment protection.
I heard that. Yeah.
If they decide to pull him before Congress,
he has to testify.
He has to testify.
He can't use the Fifth Amendment. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
he can't use the Fifth Amendment.
So they can use it against everybody else.
Correct.
But yes. But here's the thing. I don't believe for a second that Biden is going to miss that.
I don't know if they try to pull Hunter into and he testify. I think he winds up on some island somewhere with no extradition.
Well, I just don't think before that can happen. I think Joe Biden is going to issue a flurry of pardons for his entire family and himself.
100%.
He has no choice.
But the
because
point is,
his brother's going to be implicated, his daughter's going to be implicated, his wife
is.
They are
out
the
in the open at that
yeah,
point,
they're
right?
the
They
most
can't deny it at that point anymore.
They are the most corrupt political family in the history of this country.
But it's so true that's the level of logic that they would use, and the reality is that Trump is like, I mean, he didn't go after the beast, so why would he go after the rest of them?
Well, I'll say this.
I'd say let Congress do the job.
Well,
yeah.
Yes, but I also
he should
look at
let his attorney general. She's not gonna.
But yes, that. I think they need to hold everybody accountable. Trump has talked about this. I don't have the clip for it, but Trump has talked about this. That he said, in my first term, he said I wanted to just what Patrick said. Just prove that the best revenge is success.
Right. He did say that, but here's the thing, Jeremy. Right? If you don't teach the Democrats a lesson,
they don't work.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
If you don't teach them a lesson, if you don't take this opportunity, right, everything they did, all these crimes they committed against Trump, right, the abuse of power, the weaponizing of the government, the prosecutorial misconduct, all that stuff needs to be prosecuted, and these people need to go to jail for violating their constitutional oaths of office. Trump needs to fight. He's got that $100 million lawsuit pending against the government right now. So I mean, if you don't hold these crooks accountable for the things that they have done over the past 4 years, what's going to stop them in the future?
True. But here's what I was going to say about Trump is he's come out and he said, you know what? In my first term, he said, everybody that left my administration in the first term, I fired.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, they walked into my office and I said, I need you to write me a letter of resignation. That's firing.
Yes.
And he said, I was doing that to be gracious to them, to allow them to then go out and, find another job because they weren't fired. He said, but every single one of them that left my administration with a letter of resignation were fired. They knew their job was done. He said, this second term, I'm going to tell you you're fired and you're not going to get the opportunity to write a letter. So here's three aspects that I see Trump doing. And I understand the dynamic of holding them accountable. One, you can hold a number of people accountable. Okay. But you can also overturn all of the bullshit that they've passed, and that will hold them accountable.
True.
You get Congress to come in there and get rid of all of the behind the scenes dealings, like being able to own stocks in stuff that you're writing legislation on, the insider trading. You get them term limits, which he's talked about. You do a lot of this stuff, you're going to remove a lot of people without having to go through lengthy prosecutions. And then the third thing, so one, straight up prosecutions. Number two, overturning the bullshit that they've done. We've got our borders are going to come back in. Well, how many of these Democrats that have been propped up by illegal votes and all sorts of stuff are now going to be swept in 2 years out of power because they no longer have that base because we've kicked everybody out. Who are they going to go to? How are they going to be able to do what they're doing? Transparency in the election. That's gonna wipe out a lot of them and send them packing. And you realize that a lot of people are already set to resign on day one of Trump being in there because they know there's the threat of prosecution, and there's also overturning the shit. The hammer's coming down. The third thing that I don't think people are thinking about that I see Trump looking at, I just had it. I wrote 3 down, so I had them.
The other thing that is going to happen just through attrition on its own is that the mainstream media, the lying bullshit that's been going on, the wheels coming off the cart for them.
100%.
And they've lost credibility all the way around. Nobody's going to listen to them. I highly doubt that any of them will be in business anymore. There's a lot of rumblings about Elon Musk buying CNN.
Well, Morning Joe went to kiss the ring at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, MSNBC came in there.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Justin Trudeau, little Castro Jr. showed up at Mar-a-Lago?
Yes.
And it came out that Trump was like, listen, you're basically going to do what I want you to do up there, or we'll just incorporate you as the 51st state. And somebody else said, well, they're quite liberal up there. Goes, all right, maybe the 52nd state.
Yeah, well, no, he said he'd cut him in half, and it'd be a conservative half and a libtard half.
But that's the type of shit that Trump does. So,
we don't want.
Yeah, we don't need to vote diluted. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Acton, were you done?
It's going to be a very interesting next 4 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially the next 2.
Well, you see everybody. You see everybody's getting scared now. I mean, what's that guy's name?
Worldwide.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It's not just that. You have the guy Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg went to
Mar-a-Lago.
Already
capitulating and going, sorry, Mr. President.
Yeah, he wants to be involved with the new administration on some level.
He needs to roll back all that crap before he's allowed to come to the table, though. He needs to all the doxing, not the doxing, the shadow banning, everything
immediately
that's evil about Facebook and social media needs to be rolled back before he's even allowed.
And I'll tell you what, I'm not as concerned with, and I agree with you 100%. I'm not as concerned with Facebook as I am with YouTube and Google right now.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I mean, I'm saying all of them, but that still falls under Facebook.
Well, we're going to talk about
Facebook has. I used to
YouTube. Right?
I used to get banned. I had one account banned every month.
But you're also Larry. I mean, you go out of your way to get banned so you can. You can mark it down.
In 2020,
I got banned another 15 times.
Yeah. In 2020, I spent 260 days suspended
in Facebook jail.
220 days.
Do you do things that are provocative, Larry?
No, I tell the truth.
No. They
One
can't
man's
handle.
provocateur is
They
another
can't
man's
handle.
truth teller.
They can't handle the words.
You can't handle the words.
We need it. There's the next T-shirt.
I heard that they want to. There's rumblings about breaking up Google because it's a monopoly.
100%.
Yeah, they've been talking about that. Yeah.
But
which is surprising with this administration.
Well, what Google does, if you Google something, they program the
algorithm.
The algorithm. Excuse me, the algorithms to
if you don't
to answer what they want.
Algorithms.
Yes, the algorithms.
Yes.
To give you the responses that they want.
I'll tell you what, if you don't know how to navigate this way, when I want to look up certain things, I go to Google. When I want to look up different things, I go to DuckDuckGo or Start Page
I do the same thing.
Or one of the other ones. I know generally which search engine is going to give me results according to what I want to do, right? If I need to look up sports score, I go to Yahoo. It's right there because they do Yahoo Sports and it's all good, right?
Yeah, they don't do real news.
I don't want to know what their news is. What
good luck with that.
Their political news is because it's going to be jacked.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, since you brought up sports, congratulations to the Lions.
Oh yeah,
dude, 11-1.
Yeah.
Coffee not being here tonight, but he likes to. He'll in the middle of the game, my phone will ring and I'll go, Mr. Coffee, and I'll answer it and he'll go, give it to Gibbs. Just give it to Gibbs. That's all. Click. Right after Jamar Gibbs does a run, he just calls me. He goes, give it. I told him. I get screaming at the TV. Give it to Gibbs. Click.
Is this the year of the Lions?
Dude,
I think the Lions are going to the Super Bowl.
They are the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl.
I'm going to predict a Bills Lions Super Bowl. The Bills are my new heroes because I just giggled with glee during the Bills Chiefs game as little faggy. What's his fag? What's his wiggle butt? What's his name?
Mahomo.
Oh, our buddy Mahomo.
Mahomo
Just sat on the bench for 8 to 10 minutes at a time while the Bills did to them what they did to other teams, ball control, and just marched down the field. It was so, as a football coach and offensive line coach, it was, well, your offensive line makes that happen and gives your
Man, the
gives you
chat's
something
quiet tonight.
so good. So good. Nobody's monitoring chat.
You know what? The
Spur 'em
problem
up.
is it's Coffee's job to monitor chat, and then everybody gets quiet in chat. But I did see Dale's chiming in there and says, will Trump be able to repeal that pardon? I don't believe that they can repeal a pardon.
Yeah,
Once
but
it's
I've heard,
signed-
I've
Once
heard
they go
that-
through, I think you're stuck with them.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Patrick?
I've heard that the Department of Justice is going to take issue with it because he has not been convicted of anything as of yet.
Oh, right. Okay.
You would think that pardons would have to be fairly specific, right? Had to
Can't
point
be
to
a-
a
Right.
specific crime, not a blanket.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? Basically, a blanket cleaning, if you will. Right?
Yeah, you're actually not a criminal until
Well, you have to be.
till it's completed.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, and it's not completed until you're sentenced.
I mean, Calvin Johnson knew that you don't drop the ball until you get out of the end zone because you got to complete the process.
Right.
And I mean, they can't figure this out that you got to complete the process.
It's why I laugh at all these libtards when they call Trump a convicted felon. He's not a convicted felon.
Yeah.
He has not been sentenced.
Correct.
And there's 1 year from the conviction in the court. They have 1 year to sentence Trump.
Yeah.
If they don't, it's automatically dismissed.
And unlike dropping the ball, Trump's never had to learn not to drop the soap. So
See, and that's the thing. Another thing people are talking about is when Biden's doing all these pardons, that he's going to throw in the J6ers and Donald Trump, as if Donald Trump needs a pardon. But I think the way it works is once you get a pardon, you have to accept that pardon. It's just not an automatic thing.
I think that's partially true because one thing that I've mentioned before about pardons is that once you accept a pardon, it works both ways. You are the charges against you and whatever everything is exonerated, you then have the right to own firearms again and everything like that, which is a violation of the Second Amendment to not own firearms if you're a convicted felon.
That's never sat with me well.
But either way, your rights are restored as if you've never had a conviction of any kind. The problem is, if you feel that you were wronged and there's prosecutorial misconduct or there was something other than that, you also can't go after anybody because it's wiped clean as if it never happened.
Right.
So there are some people that don't want the pardon because they want to go after.
That would be Dexter Taylor.
Yes, exactly. I thought I pulled him up.
Well, it's going to be
Did I pull it?
interesting to see what happens. You know, hopefully Trump pardons all the J6ers.
Oh, I think he's going to.
Yeah.
His Attorney General Bondi's already talking about. That's what the first line of attack is to take a look at each one of these cases and toss a bunch of them.
Yeah, and
it's not. She's not going to pardon them. She's going to throw these cases out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing that the J6ers need to do is once they get released, start filing lawsuits.
Oh,
like all these people that
but
are.
That's the problem. Can they do that?
Yes.
If you pardon.
If you pardon them, I don't believe they can.
I think they can. I don't think that matters.
No, I think that
there might be a limitation on that.
The slate's very clean. It's like it never
Well,
happened.
the slate's good, but they still serve the time.
Wait,
isn't
there
they
a-
lost their houses or they've still been damaged?
But wait, Larry, isn't there a way they he could say like a way of rolling forward or removing the rest of their sentence? So that's like, let's roll back their sentence.
Yes, you're right,
Yeah,
Tim.
yeah.
Let me pull this up because let me try to
So
find
it's
it
like
again.
they're still convicted. They
There's
still
a-
have served time. They have been wrongly convicted. They still have legal recourse. And
There are 4 levels of pardoning. Here's the one I wanted to pull up.
Really?
So look at this. I'm going to open this another image. All right. So look at this. Whoops. I didn't switch to the thing. There it is. Okay. So look at this.
What the hell is that?
Okay. So this is presidential pardons, commutations, respites, and remissions.
What?
So there are 4 levels of
respites. Is that a snack?
I don't believe it is.
No, I thought this was Larry's.
Pass the respites.
So if you look at it, these
Probably
are
good with dip.
Yeah, these are going back from 1900 to 1961, so it doesn't include. Obama was one of the most prolific, or not Obama, Clinton.
Oh yeah,
Clinton was one of the most prolific. Anyways, this is the first half of the 20th century, and
well, you know, Clinton liked getting people off. I mean,
this is true
because he liked it. So,
but if you look at commutation,
okay.
So I think not a straight up pardon. A straight up pardon, I don't think you can do anything on. But if your sentence is commuted, meaning you were given 20 years to life and you served 4 and you asked for a pardon, but the president says, you know what, I'm going to commute your sentence.
That's right.
Now you still can have legal rights to go after.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I don't think accepting a pardon. I don't think that wipes out your legal rights.
I think you're wrong
for a
Parsons.
restitution.
I think you're wrong.
A straight pardon?
Because it doesn't. Yeah, because it doesn't wipe out any damage that you suffered.
Yeah, it does. It wipes it. A pardon.
No, it doesn't. Does it give you your house back if you lost it? Does it? What if your wife divorced you? Does it give you your wife back?
But those are not
That's
court
Roger
actions.
Stone. He can't sue for everything that was taken from him.
Those are not court
Ask
actions.
Michael Flynn. They haven't been able to bring lawsuits.
About Giuliani.
Giuliani hasn't been able to bring lawsuits.
He just,
right.
He hasn't been able to bring, or just hasn't brought.
No, they haven't.
I'm
been
pretty
able to
sure
bring
he
it.
would not allow it. Yeah.
And the judge in New York that locked up all of his assets.
Yep.
Giuliani says, I don't have cash. I don't have cash to get a cab.
Yeah.
Credit cards, everything. Just
Yeah.
locked them up.
Yep.
So what I think you're looking at is either a respite or a commutation. Those would have certain legal rights to be able to. Well, let's look it up here. Let's. I'll do it here in this. Right.
The document.
The document here. We have the Constitution.
What's that? Oh, sorry.
Let's see here. I should search it a little bit because flipping through the pages, I didn't have it highlighted in here. But the power of the president to issue a pardon, I think there's stipulations and rules in here.
It's funny, you guys were naming all these people who had lost everything, and it reminded me of that one skit. Where I was, yeah, Kim Kardashian. Yeah, I think in that one video she got.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, sorry.
That's good.
Yeah.
I get kicked every now and then. I'm good. Don't bruise that easily.
You guys playing footsie under the table?
Yeah, we are.
Just keeping in touch.
Right.
Let us see here.
Right.
Overseeing. Okay, Section 2, or Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1. The president shall be commander-in-chief of the Army, Navy, blah, 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 right? And then it says...
You searched
pardons.
or you searched H?
No, the overview of the pardon. It says pardon power.
Except in cases of impeachment. Okay.
Just has all
the Constitution establishes the presidential authority to grant clemency, encompassing not only pardons for individuals, but other forms of relief for criminal punishment as well. The power, which has historical roots in the English law, has been recognized by the Supreme Court as quite broad. In the 1886 case Ex parte Garland, the court referred to the president's authority to pardon as unlimited, except in cases of impeachment, extending to every office known to the law and able to exercise either before legal proceedings are taken or during their pendency or after conviction and judgment. So Biden is actually in his legal rights to do it.
I guess so. Okay.
Much later, the court wrote that the broad power conferred in the Constitution gives the president plenary authority to forgive convicted persons in part or entirely, to reduce a penalty in terms of specified numbers of years, or to alter it with certain conditions. So that is
that sounds like a pretty good carte blanche.
Yeah,
correct.
That's nice.
Unfortunately, he can do what he did.
Well,
fortunately, we want our president to have that kind of power, though.
The cool thing about it, and I've said it before on the show, is the framers of the Constitution really understood this. They wanted the president to be king
for a day. Yep.
With full authority.
Yep.
And that's why they put in impeachment as their main removal of power, and they put in elections every 4 years.
It's better than beheading.
That's part of the checks and balances, but they wanted a commander in chief to have absolute authority. Now, the caveat or the brackets around that is he's commander in chief of these United States.
Yes.
And when you go through the Constitution, you see the limitations of his power as far as it is supposed to pertain or legally should pertain to each state, right? So he has the power of a king, but he can't usurp states' rights or we the people's rights. He has the power of a king as it pertains to national sovereignty,
minus the prima nocta.
To the specific things enumerated in the Constitution.
Exactly.
Minus the prima nocta. Yes.
Minus the prima nocta. No prima nocta there. Despite the breadth of the president's authority under the pardon clause, the Constitution's text provides for at least two limitations of that power. First, clemency may only be granted for offenses against the United States. That's the federal dynamic.
Yeah.
So anything that Hunter may have done within a state, if he crossed state lines, that becomes federal. But if it's within a state, if it was the gun charge.
So the gun charge could still be.
There's a gray area because the gun charge, you had to do a federal background check. Does that pull it over automatically, even if he didn't cross a state line? For that,
technically, yes.
If you brought a pair into California, yep.
True. Meaning that state criminal offenses and federal or state civil claims are not covered. Second, the president's clemency authority cannot be used in cases of impeachment.
So it doesn't apply in this case.
Right. Which is interesting because impeachment would just be removal from office.
Well, impeachment's not removal. Impeachment's just the charge, right?
Impeachment's just a charge,
true.
but then they would necessarily the sentencing after an
if
the conviction passes through.
Yeah, but I think in any case it hasn't happened, right? Nobody's been removed from office.
No.
Even Johnson wasn't removed from office.
Nope.
Nobody has.
No.
been.
Johnson was convicted.
Was he convicted?
I thought he was convicted. You're talking about Andrew
Johnson, yes.
I thought he was convicted, but they didn't have enough votes to remove when they went to vote to see about removing him.
Okay.
They didn't have the votes for that.
Okay.
Whereas Clinton was not impeached.
He was.
Yes, he was.
He was not convicted.
But he was not convicted.
He was not removed from office.
He was not removed.
Because of
no president.
our inspector.
Well, it's impeachment is the process.
Yeah.
Right.
Impeachment are the charges.
Yeah.
The trial
happens in the Senate.
Yes.
In the Senate, no president
Nobody's to this
has
point
ever been.
Because Nixon resigned.
Yeah. The only
Nixon resigned. Yeah.
There was the only impeachment I can think of off the top of my head was a congressman from I believe Tennessee.
Congressman.
His name was Blount, and he was impeached from Congress. But I don't remember what the impeachment was about.
Not sure.
Let's see.
Still nursing it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
That was a very good
hold on a second. Andrew Johnson on
I'm enjoying it.
1868, May 16th, for high crimes and misdemeanors, he would not be fully acquitted of all charges, but
he was not removed.
He was not removed.
Correct.
Right.
Reading.
So I'm DuckDuckGo's not giving me exactly what I want, but I was looking up the list of impeachment removal from office.
Ooh, 1 minute video.
1964. He won with Andrew Johnson by his side.
Oh, yeah.
A Southerner who had become a vocal opponent of slavery.
I'll see it.
But after Lincoln's assassination, President Johnson revealed to the country what he really believed. History
now it's on
explains
some other page,
Lincoln
and I can't
to
stop the
Johnson.
audio.
Andrew Johnson was the only Southern senator to remain loyal to the Union after
they
the
were saying
start
Johnson
of the
was
Civil
anti-slavery?
War.
Did I
So
hear that
Lincoln
right?
chose Johnson to be his re-election running mate
That's
as a
interesting.
symbol of
Didn't know that.
Abraham Lincoln, Facing a tough re-election in 1864,
Johnson was Lincoln was Johnson's
Andrew
vice
Johnson
VP.
by his side, a Southerner.
Yeah, but he was the
became a
opposite
vocal
party, correct?
opponent
He was
of
a Democrat.
That's back when that happened. Yeah.
I wish we would go back to that.
That would be really interesting.
3 sitting U.S. presidents, Johnson, Clinton, and Trump, have been impeached by the House. Trump being the only one that got to be twice because he's a badass.
Over BS charges.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I guess technically they're all BS charges, but
I want to know. They've impeached judges. They've impeached.
Yeah, you can impeach anybody at the federal level.
The U.S. Senate votes against impeaching President Andrew Johnson on high crimes and misdemeanors.
I mean, they
He
tried
would
to impeach
not be fully
Mayorkas.
acquitted of all
They failed.
charges until 10 days later. Okay, so he was fully acquitted of charges eventually.
Look at all that man's been through. It's a wonder he's still there.
Who?
Trump. Yeah.
Oh,
but he's a fighter.
Yeah, that shows you that he truly believes it.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a dog with a bone.
Somebody was talking about it today. I don't know. It was. I want to say it was Infowars, but it may not have been.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to Viva Fry too. No, Viva Fry.
Yeah.
Viva Fry does this thing with Bob Barnes.
Who's that?
He's a lawyer originally from Canada that started doing a podcast with Robert Barnes. Robert Barnes is a huge constitutional lawyer. Worked actually with the Trump administration. Has worked with him a number of times. He's a frequent
urinator.
Frequent guy that's on Infowars, and he also is he's actually helping represent either Alex Jones on a couple things, or he's with Owen Schroyer in some of his cases. But Bob Barnes I love just sitting and listening to Bob Barnes just talk about the law. He's just so articulate and off the cuff, and I'm like, dude, whenever I see that Bob's on there, because Viva does a show like 5-6 days a week, but then Bob comes on every Sunday night, and I'm like, and the crazy thing, Bob Barnes is also, he's a huge gambler. And like he bet on the last 3 presidential elections and has mopped the floor.
Damn.
Like he's betting like European, the European bookies, whatever it's whatever the legal bookies are over there.
Sure.
He's like, I saw this coming in, and he's like, this hour when everybody's saying Hillary's going to win, he's like in the whatever the payouts went way up. He's like, I dumped a shit ton of money in there.
Wow.
And then when Hillary lost and Trump won, he goes, I cleaned up. And so he does another show. I've never tuned into it, but he does another show where they talk about their betting strategies on a lot of stuff, their sportsbook strategies. It's quite wild.
It's funny how betting, especially sports betting, and I've heard some of the younger people saying it's rampant now on college campuses.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Rampant.
Yeah.
It's huge
as pastimes go. But
I am still pissed about 2 athletes out there. One, Pete Rose. Pete Rose should have been exonerated. And he should be in the Hall of Fame, and they should have done it in his lifetime.
Yeah.
Because Pete Rose bet against himself and will go out there and win games by himself because he bet on himself.
Right.
How he never threw a single game.
No.
He holds multiple stats that holds the number 1 stats.
Yeah. He was Mr. Baseball, as he called him.
Exactly. And they just look, look, if you're the White Sox and throwing a World Series, you're fucking never going to get it.
Right. But you bet on yourself to win.
But you bet
and
on
go
yourself.
out there and do your job
100%.
to win. Wait, don't we all who are played sports, don't we all bet on ourselves to win?
Exactly. And then get out.
What's the point of playing?
That may have been part of his motivation to get out there and win. Is, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself and throw some money on there.
Sure.
And I'm going to get even bigger payout.
bonus,
And you know that when Pete Rose was in, the salaries were not what they are today.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know? So you just think about that. The other one's actually Michael Jordan. Everybody thinks Michael Jordan went to play baseball just because he liked to play baseball and wanted to take a break. You don't take a break at the height of your career and go play baseball. He was betting on himself. He went out there and won series. This hasn't come to the front because he took a voluntary couple years off. And then what did he do? Came back and won 3 more championships back to back to back.
Yeah.
You know? So you do a little investigation. Michael Jordan will be on a golf course playing golf against somebody else, and they will go, I'll bet you $1 million I win this round. And they'll shake on it and go.
Yeah.
He's crazy at gambling. That dude, Michael Jordan, is crazy at gambling. Of course, he's worth multiple millions of dollars, if not a couple, $1 billion, whatever. I mean, the Hanes. You think Hanes commercials are what he's making his bread and butter on? That boy is rich. Anyways, those are two athletes that, when you find out the real story,
you bet Kobe he couldn't fly a helicopter.
Oh, you're wrong. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Oh.
Cody lost.
Listen, I appreciate that. But you do know that Kobe's hanging out with JFK and Elvis right now on that island. So I don't even know what that means. Tim, you got some break stuff for us?
We got I think we got some Reese report, and we mentioned the czar, border czar. We got a bulldog border czar.
This guy's badass.
Yeah,
I hope he lives up to everything he says, man. Oh my God, that'll be
does Reese report? I heard one today. Is this the one where he has the clips of Kash Patel talking about FBI?
Give me 3 minutes to transfer it to the computer.
Okay.
I love the one where he says, the interviewer says, "So you're going to separate families, take children away from their parents?" He says,
"No, not at all.
We'll just depart them all.
We're just going to depart them
all. Families can be." He said. He said, no. He said, "No, families can be deported together."
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly.
Yeah. Families can be deported, and you know what's amazing about that too? These fucking hypocrites are like, this is amazing, and people need to point it out more and more. They go, "Oh, you're going to deport." You're going to separate families? Okay, let's take that. No, we can deport the whole family. Well, you're going to separate families? The minute somebody is charged with a crime, they separate them from the family. Have a parent that does something that the CPS finds inappropriate, and they'll snatch those kids from the home.
Kids are gone.
Don't fucking talk to me about separating illegals in this country from their quote unquote families and a bleeding heart, when you know good and damn well that if somebody gets a traffic violation and there's some sick circumstance causing them to spend, they're immediately, if you go to jail for the night over a traffic violation and you told a cop to go fuck off because he pulled you over and it was bullshit in the first place,
you're going to be separated from your
children. You're separated from your family. And you're going to have to pay $10 a minute for a fucking phone call.
And that's not to mention all the children that have been separated from their parents because they didn't affirm their gender identity.
100% written in the law. Yeah. But these bleeding heart bullshit people it's got me fired up. These bleeding heart bullshit people don't want to talk about being separated on that level.
Yeah, they're full of shit.
Totally full of shit.
No, this Reese report starts with a message from a lady that I didn't recognize. But it is talking about, a bunch of shit. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
You ready for break?
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to talk about Kash Patel a little bit more, FBI director nomination, the bombshell U.S. House investigation report confirming everything we fucking said on this show, as well as multiple other shows that said that it was all bullshit.
The Wu flu was a joke.
It was a joke. Take it away, Tim.
This is my brain. A very important message from Dr. Rima Libo. Trump must tackle the UN's plan for global genocide. See the whole thing at band.video.
Trump has appointed an entire slate of globalist henchmen, one after another, from his chief of staff to the appointees that he's chosen to his vice president, who is Peter Thiel's business partner. And if you're looking for a globalist, you'll find one in Peter Thiel. However, every single campaign promise rests on our not being part of the United Nations in order to fulfill that promise. Gender mutilation, or you can fill in the blank and talk about digital currency or any of the issues that people are quite rightly concerned about. These hordes of people flooding across borders around the world are in fact doing what the United Nations wants them to do, which is destroy the national integrity of each and every country anywhere in the world. When we remove our countries from the United Nations, we automatically are removed from the World Health Organization, UNESCO, UNICEF, the International Monetary Fund, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If a country, a sovereign country, and a non-country organization conclude a relationship, it's called a contract. And the country is under no obligation to change its laws to meet the contract. So that's a very, very significant difference. There can be no treaties with the United Nations because it's not a sovereign state. It's an unelected nobody's club. Leaving the United Nations is embarrassingly simple. It takes a letter from the head of state to the Secretary General of the United Nations, and the letter says, we're not part of your club anymore, goodbye. That's all it takes. Now, I emphasize it has to be signed by the head of state. In Trump's first term in office, he allegedly removed us from the World Health Organization. He did not. That was twinkle toes nonsense, flim flam. He directed Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, to write the withdrawal letter. In other words, it was a political theatrical stunt. Trump then took twice the annual contribution that the United States makes to the World Health, which should be called World Holocaust Organization, and he gave it to Gavi, which is one of the principal supporters of the World Health Organization. Where do you think double the money went? In the Senate, Mike Lee from Utah, and in the House of Representatives, Chip Roy of Texas and Mike Rogers of Alabama introduced identical legislation, which collectively was called, listen to the words, the Disengaging Entirely from the United Nations Debacle Act. That act required every unit of the United Nations, its headquarters, its peacekeepers, its organizations, its whatever, out of the United States, and the United States out of the United Nations. We have the power now, and we presumably still have the opportunity to inform our leaders that they must do what we say at this juncture. If we do not do this, and the plan of the globalist destructocrats and the control oligarchs comes to fruition, people have to understand that is literally the end of humanity. Our DNA will be destroyed for their biodigital convergence enslavement purposes, and the species known as human will cease to exist. That is the explicit articulated plan.
Learn more at preventgenocide2030.org.
This is my brain.
Border Czar Tom Homan, 47 days from being into office, is already running around like Speedy Gonzales, contacting thousands of counties, hundreds of cities and towns, and saying, are you going to work with us? Or are you going to try to frustrate us and block us and have uprisings? Which we'd like to know. And the majority of towns and cities he's calling her saying, of course we're going to follow federal law that's cut and dry, and we're going to help you. And then we've got the reports of what he is having in in-person meetings and over the video link meetings, he and his crew. Reportedly, he's doing Trump-level work, 18 hours a day, not just doing interviews all over the place, but also talking to the city and county officials and breaking them into subgroups of the task force. And one of the main focuses is they're going to go after not just the human traffickers and the drug dealers, but the people that are putting folks in sex slavery and slave labor. That's the top priority, which, again, we've already been talking about and pushing and covering. And now they've said that's where they're going with the task force. We've been covering that the last 3 days. But now we are getting all the, not intel, it's all confirmed. It's just admitted that he's making that a main focus. So it's not just talk on Fox News, which is great because he's not a guy that just talks. I mean, Homan's very respected, almost 50 years in law enforcement and everything from a New York cop to the head of the Border Patrol, you name it. And he's gone completely on the warpath. Trump has released him off the leash. And I've got a big stack of what he's preparing and the main assault on this globalist replacement migration. And it is exactly what I would do and exactly what I proposed. And I'm not saying he's following what I say. I study this stuff. That would be the most devastating move to the criminals, the best move to save the children and the other slaves, the best thing to shut it all down and to prosecute the criminals that did it because that's justice. And then that brings down their whole system. So this is deliciously good news. And more good news. Ninth Circuit rules in favor of federal deportation. And of course, that Ninth Circuit is usually pretty leftist, but the federal law is cut and dry. And so the federal government has the authority to deport foreign nationals in the U.S. illegally over the objection of local authorities. A panel of 3 judges on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously ruled. The 29-page ruling was written by Judge Daniel Bress, with Judge Michael Hawkins and Richard Clinton concurring. At issue is the April 2019 executive order issued by the King County Executive Dow Constantine, which directed county officials to prohibit fixed-base operations on the county airfield near Seattle from servicing U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement chartered flights to deport illegal foreign nationals. So it was a blockade of that, and this just shoots down all the sanctuary obstructionist garbage. So that is big news. We'll get more into. Border czar Tom Homan vows mass deportations, warns game on. Trump border czar Homan says he'll meet with New York City Mayor Adams to address the migrant crisis. Let's get this done. Democrat mayor blasted by local paper for violent rhetoric about Trump deportations. Governor Abbott, incoming border czar Homan served Thanksgiving meals to Operation Lone Star service members. Trump border czar Tom Homan vows there's going to be a mass deportation. And we'll get more of these articles where he says they're going to particularly target the human traffickers that are engaged in sex trafficking. So a lot happening. Trump's border czar Tom Homan praises DHS pick Kristi Noem. She understands it. California Attorney General prepares for legal battles with Trump administration. You got a bunch of AGs, they're Democrat, Soros-controlled, and governors saying they're going to openly obstruct basically a form of a secession. Tom Homan vows to send twice as many officers to LA to a deportation plan. Trump's border czar Tom Homan threatens sanctuary city leaders blocking mass deportations. Don't test us. We'll dig into the latest developments on that. Open borders have created a terror attack time bomb. That's all coming up as well.
This is my brain.
All right. We're back.
What are you doing? You still fucking off down there?
Mostly back.
Well, yeah, everyone but Acton.
Mostly back.
Because Acton doesn't respect my authority.
Respect my authority.
I did send you that story, buddy.
Okay. Larry sent me another story. Let's see here. San Jose State Mountain West Conference opponent boycotts game over transgender player.
I don't have Wolfie.
Oh.
Are we back yet?
There. All right.
I don't have Wolfie.
Interesting the shot they took there.
Well, I see it on Wolfie. What one
I don't have Super Source. Oh, that'll help. I have to turn the break off. I paused the break.
Mm-hmm.
The last screen on the break is the graphic background, and it threw me.
Oh, right.
All right, let's get rid of the
San Jose. How are they talking San Jose? Is that?
Do you know the way to San Jose?
Is it dude? After beating Utah State.
No, San Jose has actually no racist, has a big beaner population. San Jose.
But I don't think these are. Look at those calves. That's white as shit, man.
I like it.
That's white as shit.
I like Who's looking at the calves?
I like the volleyball.
That's the only picture you sent me. There's nothing above their head, dude. Look at this.
I know.
Who framed this fucking shot?
It wasn't me.
That's what I said. Interesting.
Pretty nice
interesting
shot.
Huh?
I don't know. There's a little bit of.
Well, no.
Be careful.
Whoever framed that shot was looking at. It wasn't interested in showing the entire player.
No. Whenever
I'll tell you,
these high school students.
No, college.
Actually, whenever they keep the anonymity of students, they can't take a picture of their face. They have to by journalism.
So they take pictures of their butts.
Legs.
You want look at that anyway.
That reminds me of a joke I'll tell you later.
I'll tell you what, though.
That was done in bad taste, but not our bad taste. We're not responsible for it.
I will say this. Nothing hotter than sand volleyball chicks.
That's true.
I don't know. I think they're a little too scrawny. I prefer softball players, but you know.
That's thick. All right.
They are.
San Jose State University Spartans women volleyball team, which is at the center of a national debate over the inclusion of bullshit people acting like they're something other than what they are. Oh, I'm sorry, transgender women in women's sports. You're not a transgender woman. You're a fucking dude
pretending to be a girl.
Pretending to be a girl. Yeah. You're a fraud.
You're a bully
and a fucking hypocrite, and you need to be taken outside and beaten.
Scumbag. Yes.
You narcissistic piece of shit who thinks that you need a little beyond your participation trophy because you couldn't succeed against your own gender. Fucking tool.
You couldn't beat men, so you had to beat up on women, you little bitch.
They advanced to its conference championship on Saturday without having played a single game in the tournament. After a first-round bye, the team was prepared to play semifinal match against the Mountain West Conference tournament scheduled on Friday, but the opposing team, Boise State University, refused for the third time to play the Spartans because of their transgender player. They're fake fucking guy pretending to be a girl because you're so pathetic and useless that you can't compete against your own.
That's a serious
gender.
Black
you
guy
have to beat up on
Michigan
women.
State. What the fuck? Really?
Whatever happened to not beating up on girls?
Right,
dude.
What happened to those days?
Well, that went out the window. Where are the feminists?
Oh well.
Where's all the feminazis?
There ain't no such thing as feminists.
On that one.
Yeah. Where's all the feminazis?
Oh, they are Democrat apologists. Oh, sorry.
It's always bullshit.
Yeah, everybody should. If every team refused to play the team with the transgender dude or the dude,
it would be. They would eventually. It'd be done.
It'd be done.
It'd be over.
That's all you'd have to do is we're not playing.
Right.
As long as that dude is on the team, we're not playing you.
As soon as a student,
what are they going to do? Just advance them all the way up?
Or somebody take
without playing a single game all year?
It'll fall back to the student. As soon as a student,
whatever happens to the football
you got to turn
player,
yourself up a little bit there.
Where's the ticket sales?
Whatever happens to the football player taking these pieces of shit out back and beating the shit out of them.
Finish your thought.
That's how you beat them.
Finish your thought, Tim.
As soon as a student who believes they're transitioned realize there's social pressure where the school will hate them for ruining their athletic team's season if they join the team, because then they will end up having just a tanked season. The social pressure is where these people respond, and they'll realize that, oh, well, I can't go out for that sport.
I don't know if that's true or not. These people are such narcissists. I don't think they would even succumb to that.
They may try to push through
the unaccepted nature of the. I mean,
they might feel.
I don't think so.
You're such a victim.
Well, here's the thing. No. Here's a big thing about this.
There's a little violins playing.
If you are that special, then form your own teams, your own transgender teams.
Well, I think that's what the school should force them to do anyway. Worst case,
force them to do their own teams. Listen,
you know what?
You want to do that, but they're not going to do that because it is about the narcissism. It is about that stuff. And I agree with Tim. And I agree with Norris, but I agree with Tim on the social pressure. I also agree that some of these people are so fucked up that they'll just keep going.
No, wait. Here's the kicker. Pick
is the kicker transgender or not?
Yes, it is. It's transgender. Here's the kicker. She's definitely a kicker. Because when there's something on their shoe, they put it behind them to look to see if there's anything on the bottom. They don't pull it forward like a man would. The whole point is, if there was a league, pick a sport. It doesn't matter. Pick a sport. If there was a league of a bunch of fucking queer dudes out there playing each other who thought they were women and they were playing a sport, that would be hilarious. I would watch that.
Dude, that would be awesome.
I would watch that. Pick a sport, any sport. It doesn't matter. I would watch that. That would be so good. Hilarious.
I'm looking it up. I'm going to see if I can find it. Yes, there it is. Tim, you asked for it.
What?
Silly nannies.
The Silly Nannies. The London Silly Nannies.
London.
Why am I not getting audio? I should be getting audio.
Wall feet. Oh, because wall feet's down. Start it over.
Start over.
But this isn't a league where they're one team in a league.
If you marry me, I'll drink for you and drink for you. If you marry me, I'll scrub for you and bake for you. If you marry me, all others I will sing for you. All this will I do if you marry me. All this will I do if you marry me.
Okay, so but that is one team in a league where the whole league isn't.
Well, this is the Silly Nanny.
Yes, but it's not the whole league. It's one team.
Correct, but
Yeah.
but it
Playing football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you have enough of them to make a team, to be honest.
No, a league. Well, a team.
A league. I mean, a league. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did that once. Wasn't it the XFL or something like that? Shots fired.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I don't think I'm ready for that.
You don't think you're ready?
Never go full retard.
No.
Never
Oh
go
shit!
full
I just
retard.
ruined it. I bumped the wrong button.
All
Now
right.
they're broken.
We'll just
Sorry.
go with that one.
The shotgun will randomly fire.
Shotgun
later.
will randomly fire. Yeah, it'll go off later in the middle of the show.
Silly nannies
It's a
versus
Polish
the
shotgun.
Patriots.
The sound comes after.
Yeah, yeah, you got to watch. That's what a great episode of.
And there's no face mask, so they're talking about.
Look at them, like they're
They're
freaked the
about to
fuck out.
die.
Where's that? Turn,
You're about to die.
turn that up a little bit, Tim. Let's do it.
Oh,
Did you bring it down?
yeah, I did.
Those men are tremendous in stature. And they're coming straight at us. Oh. We'll take my carriage.
The Silly Nannies. Yes, that's fun stuff right there. Let's get into this. Kash Patel blowing up shit. There's the. Did that automatically just do it, or did it work again? Okay.
No, I refreshed it.
Blowing up shit. Trump nominates Kash Patel. If you guys have not ever listened to Kash Patel or looked him up,
I like him.
he's a badass.
Yeah.
And long
Scroll
before
down.
he was nominated for FBI director, which he was just recently.
He has a shitload of experience.
He looks like a white supremacist.
He did a whole. Well, he's the he's the diversity hire of
like
the
Patel,
the Trump administration because they're saying not enough diversity. And Trump's like, I don't give a shit. I'm hiring people that I think are good for the job.
Yeah.
He's not doing 100% on that deal. We'll talk about that guy.
I'll talk about the HHH.
Dude, why nominate a fucking sheriff out of Florida that locked up pastors during the lockdowns?
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
That was the DEA guy. He nominated for DEA. Now he may be good on drugs, and I said that to Norris. I said maybe he's great on the war on drugs, which is bullshit anyways and should be abolished. You want to snort whatever or inject whatever, have at it. Don't make me pay for your fucking recovery, and don't make it illegal. You know what happens when you don't make it illegal and you don't make me pay for it? It goes out of style. And the people that want to self-destruct continue to self-destruct. Listen, you take away all the legal drugs, and then you know what happens? They're huffing fucking paint. And then I got to go down the paint aisle, and I got to show my ID to buy a fucking can of spray paint now because somebody huffed the paint because they made fucking whatever drug that was available beforehand illegal, and I never did any of it. What the fuck?
Well, I think they're trying to get rid of the fentanyl. That's these poisoning people. That is maybe not fentanyl or whatever it's supposed to be. It's something in there that kills folks.
Could be, but the original war on drugs under Nixon was just meant to control and prosecute people. Yeah. And I'm glad that there's movements of like in Michigan and many states, and they're about to declassify or decriminalize marijuana on a federal level. But the reality is they decriminalized it, but they made it legal, which is a bullshit to me. Yeah. Same with alcohol.
Right.
Don't make it legal and then charge special tariffs and tax and shit like that within our country of distilled spirits. No, get the fuck out of it. Yeah. Why is there an extra taxes and tariffs on?
It's all about money. They want to make money.
Oh, it's all about money.
Yeah.
Even with cigarettes. It's the
See,
same thing,
I
right?
wouldn't I wouldn't really care if they decriminalized drugs as long as they didn't decriminalize being a drug dealer.
Well, here's the thing about the drug dealer, right? If your product listen, they put fucking Firestone tires on Explorers that cause rollovers, okay? Ford Motor Company and Firestone Tire had to fucking settle multiple class action lawsuits. That's already in there. You sell a whole bunch of drugs to somebody and it's laced with fentanyl because you cut it because you're a cheap motherfucker and you want to make more money, and you kill a whole bunch of your clients, your customers. You're responsible. It doesn't have anything to do with the drug. It's no different than a malpractice or a bad tires on an Explorer. Okay, you're held accountable for what you did. That doesn't fall for me. That legally shouldn't even fall under a war on drugs. That should fall under criminal negligence. It's criminal negligence. If you run somebody over in a crosswalk because you didn't stop because the sign said stop and you run somebody over, is that the vehicle's fault?
Nope.
Is that the sign was not legible fault? No, you're criminally negligent. So you sell somebody a drug and they overdose, you held criminally negligent. You know what'll happen? The amount of people.
Well, wait a minute. Are you saying that if you're like driving a Ford Explorer and you run over somebody and kill them,
it's the tire's fault?
Exploder.
They don't ban Ford Explorers? Wait, they don't need Ford Explorer control? They need safe storage for Ford Explorers?
They need a war on Ford Explorers.
I'm just wondering because it's always the gun's fault if somebody's murdered with a gun. It's always the gun's fault.
Yeah.
So if somebody takes an Explorer and runs over some kids in the schoolyard, it's got to be the Explorer's fault.
We had that happen a couple of Christmases ago in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
A guy ran over a bunch of people with it, but I think it was an SUV. Now it was an Explorer.
It was.
I could be wrong, but I don't see anybody going to the Explorer for that.
Yeah, yeah, they need to ban Explorers.
Yeah.
They gotta have Explorer-free zones.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not seeing it on his page.
Libtard logic 101.
They rolls up to it again.
It's Sean
Payroll.
Trulio. Yeah.
Pardon me.
Pardon you? No. Let's see here. So Kash Patel, badass mofo.
I hope he fucking burns it to the ground,
dude. Well, listen. The amount you have to watch the amount of things that he's talked about, but Kash came out and one of the things that he said was awesome. He's like, I will immediately vacate the Hoover building and turn it into a museum.
I heard that, yeah.
And all 7,000 employees will either be working in the field or they will be
a museum to the deep state.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, he's going to go scorch fucking earth on them.
I hope so.
And he's like, they're going to get back to doing the jobs of investigating things, not creating crimes and finding. No, listen, you should be able to downsize this. And
does that mean they're not going to make any more dossiers?
What are you saying, Larry?
I don't know.
Yeah, were you talking about doxing people? What were you talking about?
Dossiers.
What do they call it when they
Trump Russia dossier?
I know. What do they call it when they reveal somebody when they
doxing?
No. In spy parlance. They
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the word though. Yeah.
But the two people that were No. There's a specific.
Gets burned.
Yeah, no. There's another term.
I know what you're talking
that,
about. Yeah.
That you where somebody's working, and it was Page and Strzok, right?
Yeah.
The two people, and they.
Well,
the term's going to come.
They tried to use it was the chick. They tried it with Bush. They tried to use that term,
but they use it's where you reveal who they really are and their status within the organization.
Yep. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of the word though. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Huh?
It's a knock list. Is what they're on, but they're blown. They're
right, but there's a specific term where somebody is known as being involved in the agency or the organization, but then you actually reveal what is the name of it? Anyways, Kash Patel, this is huge. President-elect reiterated under Patel's leadership, the FBI will end the growing crime epidemic in America, dismantling the migrant crime gangs and stop the evil scourge of human and drug trafficking across the border. Well, that means removing half of the FBI right there, just in those.
Yeah, it just says blown cover or compromised.
Yeah, there's a word. No,
yes,
I know what Jeremy's
there's
talking
a specific term.
Yeah.
Unmasking.
Unmasking?
Is that right?
Is that it?
Unmasking, yes. That's another term.
I think that's a different one, but yeah, there was. What was that? Valerie Plame. That's what it was, and it was whatever term they used for her. I can't think of the word though. That's what they tried to claim, but it wasn't true though, because she was already out. They knew who else she was. Plame or Plum, whatever it was.
Whatever, it'll get it.
Yeah.
We're all searching for this.
Everybody jumped on it.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that term is the correct term.
Yeah, blown cover.
But they use the specific term of unmasking because literally it's like you work for the FBI and you're an analyst, but then they unmask you and find out that you're actually a covert operator doing a bunch of shit. So they know you're already there, and it's not a knock list where you're completely off the books and not where you're revealed as well. They know you're part of the organization, but they don't know the intricacies of your role in the organization. And then all of a sudden you're literally taking the mask off and they see, oh, that's not what we thought you were involved in.
I think that applies more to CIA than it does FBI.
Correct. Yeah. But I thought there was a tie-in with that, right? With let me type in unmasked. Unmasked.
Next pair of knockers.
FBI. Unmasked FBI dossier, right? I can't spell dossier.
DOSSIER, I think.
Say it again.
DOSSIER, I believe.
IER. That's dossier, but yes. Okay.
You're right. Michael Flynn starting out unmasking to reveal the American's true name.
Yes. So unmasking, this is from CIApedia, so we'll take that with a grain of salt. Unmasking by U.S. intelligence agencies typically occurs after the United States conduct eavesdrops on or other intelligence gatherings aimed at foreigners or foreign agents, and the name of a U.S. citizen or entity is incidentally collected. Intelligence reports are then dismantled within the U.S. government with such names masked to protect those U.S. citizens from invasion of privacy. The names can subsequently be unmasked upon request by agencies. Blah 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 blah.
A leak of the unintentional and unauthorized disclosure. I'm not on for the crown. I'm on intentional unauthorized disclosure of classified or sensitive information to a person or an organization that does not have a need to know. And unmasking.
Yeah, so that was the term I was looking for, is unmasking, because again, what it does is it reveals. So a person may have a pseudonym that they're operating under, or whatever they're doing. They're known, but the full extent of their operation may not be known, and then they're unmasked. This happened in a lot of situations.
The cover is blown. I know that's one word.
Well, their cover is blown, but it's blown not like what Tim mentioned or a couple of the other terms where what was the term? Not Themistocles, but would you say where they were burned? Where they're burned. No, when you typically
That's
burn,
when the agency does it to the
correct. The
agent.
agency would disavow you when you're burned. And so this is a dynamic here, but Kash Patel is going to kick some cash. Kash Patel.
I'm hoping everybody lives up to these reputations. That's what I'm hoping.
Dude, you know what, Kash, for one, in his rhetoric and what I saw the interviews with him, but I've saw the interviews with him since he was in the first administration, the first Trump administration. He's a fucking beast, dude. He's the one. For those out there who didn't know, Kash Patel is the guy that brought to the forefront the fact that the Russian collusion dossier was bullshit. He is the guy. He's the guy that was tasked with it by President Trump and then brought out to light all of it, who paid for it, Hillary Clinton campaign,
of course,
who put it together. It was the Steele dossier, the guy Steele, all that. He's the one that broke that all down and presented.
And
the
everybody
whole thing.
needs to understand who Steele was.
Right.
He was a Russian spy.
Oh, he was a British spy.
British spy.
Well, yeah. He was a British spy, but he worked with a Russian spy.
The Kremlin, yeah.
Yeah, the Kremlin for this fake. Trump hired a prostitute to pee on the bed that Obama slept on. Story.
I remember that.
And
Trump, the known germaphobe who has had to do therapy.
Yes.
In order to overcome him having an aversion to shaking hands and being around and touching other people.
Right.
So much so that he's now reaches out hands all the time and is shaking people's hands. He's overcome that. But he was a huge germaphobe. Asked chicks to pee on him.
Yeah, right.
In Russia.
No, not pee on him. Pee on the mattress that Obama slept on. I mean, it's the whole thing. The whole story
was preposterous.
Yes.
The other term for revealing identity is also called Duke Silvering.
Duke Silvering. That sounds very British.
No, Duke Silvering. It is the revelation of the jazz saxophone identity of Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec.
Oh, all right. Now that makes more sense.
It's Duke Silvering.
You got Duke Silvered.
Yep.
I will take another piece of that. Thank you. Put it in the tray. Are you just going to keep throwing them away? Yes, as long as I can keep anybody from not eating that. That's the turkey bacon episode from Parks and Rec.
Right.
If you don't know that one.
Yes.
Can
I have a piece then?
Yeah. When his assistant steps up,
she
awesome.
throws one away.
I don't like it. There's no popcorn on the floor.
I vacuumed the floor. It took me 20 minutes, Larry.
It was up here like a long time. It's like a housemaid up here.
Good.
Just sucking away.
Wow.
Hey, my mom resembles that.
There was like
what you just said.
There was
housemaid sucking away.
This is not.
Oh man!
Acting like this is a Schwarzenegger house.
For those offended to those last comments, revert to the disclaimer at the top of the show.
I want to get to this one's huge. This is huge news.
No. Drop the H.
Huge
news.
This is huge news. Huge news. But before we get fully to the huge news, I got to do this.
How huge is it?
It's very huge. Almost 600 pages of congressional report. It's like 579. Some say close to 600. I say 579, but it's close to 600.
Wait, that's not
pages.
the huge news? You're doing something else
Huge
first?
news.
Okay.
The huge news.
Huge news.
It's a bombshell. U.S. House investigation report confirms that almost everything the alternative media said, that would be us, very small part, but a lot of big shows, really big shows, about the COVID origins, lockdowns, mass vaccines, government overreach was true.
Was true.
All the shit that we said all along was true. And what did we say? We said it was all bullshit. And it's on here on, let me scroll down.
Yep. Ivermectin works.
Ivermectin works. It was
no, that's not what I wanted.
The first jabs were snake
The jabs are
venoms.
useless.
But I like that one.
I do like that one. We'll
6
go to
feet
that one.
were 6 feet was made up.
Was made up.
Oh, 6 feet was
no. The jabs
totally
were
fucking made
not
up. Here it is.
effective nor safe.
Nor safe. Here it is from Natural
masks
News.
are
Mike
totally
Adams over at
fucking
Natural
useless.
News. Bombshell. I just read that whole title to you guys. This is on my paper. Let's read through this. What kind of accent do we want? What kind of?
Gosh, where have we been today?
I feel like it needs to be like Scottish or something.
You gotta be New Zealand. That's the ones that are still
under it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to channel New Zealand because do you
New
want to go?
Zealand comes
you want
up
to
at
go
the
native
end.
New Zealander,
Well,
or do you
no.
want to go?
You had to go English New Zealand. We had to go
English New Zealander?
Well,
Yeah.
but they come up at the end of every sentence, and they
They come-
actually come up and make sure that everything's a
Okay.
question.
Oh right, remember?
And
What's
they-
their
yes.
name? What was their president?
Yeah, the president.
Look,
Not sure
David.
if they are stating or they're asking
If you don't comply, we'll have to come after you.
after you. There it is. There it is. After
You got it.
There it is.
So years after the COVID pandemic nightmare was unleashed on Americans by a cabal of junk science tyrants and power-hungry vaxocrats, the U.S. House has released a damning and detailed investigative report that reveals the independent media was right all along.
No. Independent
All
media
along?
all along.
All along. It always comes up like a question at the end.
It does.
Like,
It does.
who put a question mark
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
teleprompter?
Like,
He
where's
will
that?
read anything you put on the teleprompter.
There you go. He's going for round 2.
COVID was engineered in a lab.
There it is.
Mass demands and vaccine mandates were based upon junk science. Science?
Science.
Yes. Lockdowns were completely made up by self-appointed scientific authoritarians. Government covered up the truth and pushed disinformation propaganda on purpose.
Yeah, try it with more than 3. Like propaganda on purpose. It starts.
Propaganda on purpose?
Yeah, you start more words into the sentence with the uptone.
Dr. Fauci was as guilty as hell.
Yeah, he belongs in prison.
Dude, Fauci belongs in prison.
Yeah.
All right, I'm switching to Scottish. It's easier for me.
All right, that's
I was
fine.
I was just thinking too much. So all the censorship by big tech turns out to be truly malicious and even harmful to the public and an entire corporate media of nothing but an organized cabal of liars and profiteers brought to you by Pfizer.
Now do a Scottish Kiwi
Pfizer.
come up at the end.
Scottish. Oh, shit. This investigative report reveals that COVID was a crime scene and the government conspired with big tech and mainstream media to commit numerous crimes of cognitive assault. It's a saying. Medical violence, vaccines, and hospital homicides against the American people. When do the mass arrests begin? Don't hold your fucking breath, man. Unfortunately, no one can bring back the estimated 1.2 million Americans that were killed by the jabs because they, quote, believed the science, unquote. Fortunately for you and I, the purebloods here at the table, we never believed that bullshit. And we most certainly didn't follow the herd and getting a job, getting masked, and getting locked the fuck down. No, we said, hell no. Suck a big willy. It turns out that was a tremendously valuable choice in our actions on our part. Our progeny will be grateful that they didn't get fucked over. The official report found here as a whole PDF is over 500 pages in length and used our Brighteon AI. It's a pretty good AI. It's one of the better ones.
And that's almost as long as one of those jab needles.
That's right. LLM, I don't know what that means. Engine to distill it down to just the most important parts. And that summary is shown here. Naturally, the report insists that warp speed was somehow saved a lot of lives. I heard somebody the other day, it was a fucking retarded, right? He's telling me this. He says, oh, but if you took it though, it lessened all the stuff. I'm like, fucking people died. What are you lessening?
How do you prove a negative?
Right. Fucking stupid. Let me continue here. After the after-action review of COVID-19 pandemic, the lessons learned and the path to follow. Chief Brad Winstrup's final report. He says, look, it was all fucking bullshit. I'm paraphrasing, of course. The select subcommittee on coronavirus pandemic has concluded an extensive review of the pandemic to identify key failures, successes, lessons learned. Were there successes? Oh, that's right. Pfizer made a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. That's
The report aims to provide a roadmap to better preparation and response to future pandemics.
And the other success was they basically managed to see how far they could push the American people.
Exactly. All right, here's the key to it. It was found in a lab leak.
Yep.
From Wuhan.
Ding, 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 ding,
And where did Wuhan get the shit that they ended up leaking?
From us. Fauci.
Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Fucking Fauci.
Oh.
There was actually a military delegation that went from Chapel Hill to the Wuhan lab.
Yeah.
The week before the actual.
They were like, oh, Obama get up there and he says, the long-legged Mac Daddy that he is, I'm no longer, I got a channel. He goes, listen, we've been told that we are no longer allowed to do gain of function research.
Yep.
So we're going to cease and desist all gain of function research here in America. So they sent to fucking Ukraine
America,
and over to Wuhan, China. Of course. All right, then let's see. Government response failures. Oh, let's read this one. Fraud and abuse. Rampant fraud, waste, and abuse plagued COVID-19 response. Duh. Pandemic era school closures. These closures had a lasting negative effect on your child's education and mental health.
Shit, Sherlock.
Holy shit. You mean the kids that can't fucking speak right because they couldn't see the teacher's face for 2 fucking years?
Yeah.
Maybe.
The 2 most critical years of their speech development.
Exactly. Misinformation
And
campaign.
not include all the freaking lifetime events that those kids miss. Proms, graduations.
Oh, fuck. How about not be able to hug grandma or grandpa because they're behind a fucking plastic wall?
All the elderly that died alone.
Yep.
There is rumblings of charges being brought against Cuomo in New York.
Can we bring charges
And
against Whitmer?
The question is, why the fuck aren't charges being brought against Whitmer?
Yeah.
Because she's going to run for president. Let's see.
She can't now. It's still, ain't happening.
Dude, that bitch is done. She's toast.
But it's who's going to have the cojones to stand up against her here in the state of Michigan.
We don't have any. I don't know what is our bitch. That's the question, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, all right. So the role of public health officials. The report criticizes actions of key public health officials. Oh, and who's there? Dr. Anthony Fauci, the tiny little weasel cock himself. Played a role.
There you go. Fauci should come in and finish the report.
Listen, if one mask works, then it just stands to reason that 10 masks work 10 times better.
Yeah. So you're
I'm just saying.
say
So,
I played a role in.
I played a role in downplaying the lab leak and covering up the facts while I made a shit ton of fucking
if
money.
you can't breathe, we don't care if you can't breathe,
I pushed out I pushed out ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine because those actually work. And I tried to get everybody to do remdesivir because I make a shit ton of fucking money every shot they get.
You tried to launch it before or something else.
And then I got them to put tubes down people's mouths and fill their lungs so full that their lungs blew out because I make a shit ton of fucking money. Things you can't do on terrestrial TV.
Yeah.
We can do here. So it just goes through this. If you want to go there, Natural News, I'll actually grab this and throw it in the
Comments under the Rumble.
comments in the Rumble here.
Sure.
You guys check that out. Read the whole. Mike Adams has been working on his. I tell you what, there are 2 AIs that I'm actually, I think are really cool. Gronk with X. I still have my hesitations on Elon because of a couple things. But Mike Adams is as true as the day is long. He actually is doing a lot of things on the spiritual side. church side. He actually is starting to do church services from the website and stuff like that. Mike Adams over there on Natural News is phenomenal. But check out that. I put the link there in the comments section. But this is a summary of the 500 and some odd pages that his AI compiled. So here's the conclusion. Let's read the conclusion. Chairman Wenstra emphasizes the need for a whole of America response managed by unbiased leaders who prioritize transparency, accountability, and integrity. The lessons learned from this pandemic highlight the importance of better preparation, more effective communication, stronger oversight in future public health emergencies. Maybe just don't fucking introduce bad shit into the country, and we won't have to
How
worry.
about we just not disabolish the CDC and be done with it?
Yeah, abolish them. Fuck them. The full report includes detailed findings on each topic discussed and is intended to serve as a roadmap to future pandemics. I tell you what, you know how you want to get rid of future pandemics? Arrest Fauci and Gates.
Yeah.
Put them on trial, convict them, and fucking execute them. I mean, we did it for the Rosenbergs for supposedly selling the nuclear bomb, right? But we can't do it for fucking Fauci and Gates, who have murdered people throughout the world.
There are countries out there if they ventured into that would happen to them.
Right. So there's the bombshell report. We covered Kash Patel, bombshell report there.
Quick little chat update.
Thank you for monitoring chat, Tim.
Michigan House Democrats have a bill making it a crime to refuse vaccination mandates or required vaccine.
Michigan? Michigan's doing that?
How about they go
Well,
fuck
Democrats
themselves?
probably
That's
have
for
that bill, and
our N8IWS, the guy, the one that you say his name's Josh or John or some shit.
well, there's a
Dale.
That's right.
Yeah,
you were so close.
I was so close.
There's a bunch of crazy crap that the Democrats were pushing in the House, but the Republicans have managed to block a whole lot of it. I mean, some got through that; those horrible gun bills got through, and there's some other stuff that got through. But Republicans have been going up to the moderate Democrats that are in there and saying, "Hey,
you want to win next time?
do you want to get some bills passed in the next session?
Yeah,
because if you do, don't vote for these bills,
right?
Or we'll just make sure that you get the big flush."
You know, one thing that occurs to me while you're talking about that, the power of the filibuster.
Yes,
it got so much negative press, right?
All of a sudden, they're on board
years.
again, right? Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah.
The power of the filibuster. Who's the guy? Look, can we look this up real quick? There was a guy. This was years ago. I don't want to say it was late 1800s.
Yeah.
He filibustered, like he stayed on the floor of the House for like
3 days.
3 days, something like that.
I thought that
fucking
was
crazy. Dude.
That was the guy against the Civil Rights Bill, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But either way, the power of the filibuster, where you literally just wear them out.
Yeah.
And they don't. They're like, all right.
Yeah,
we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
We
Just
give
pull
up.
it. You just pull it for consideration. Speaking of stupid fucking Democrats in our state, pads and tampons for all. Michigan Democrats say boys need feminine hygiene products too.
I think
that-
Michigan Democrats need holes in their heads.
That bothers me. Just that statement bothers me.
Yeah.
But then let's read down here. And what do we find? Michigan's latest educational budget proposal is causing a stir with a $10 million allocation to stock menstrual hygiene products in not just girls' bathrooms, but in boys' bathrooms. Wait a minute.
And gender neutral ones. Oh,
This
yeah.
picture shows a 25-cent cost. Did they grab the wrong
obviously
JPEG for this?
Yeah.
Because this is saying that you just get them for free.
So here's the thing.
No.
Why am I paying for anybody's fucking menstrual products?
Correct.
With men or women. Period. I don't want to pay for anybody's. That's your fucking job. That's your mother's fucking job.
Right. Now listen.
Period.
Only.
Were they going to pay for our toilet paper too?
You know what? If these
I
morons,
wanted to pay for my blowjob
school
as well,
paper.
but you know.
I'm excited about it.
you know, if these morons would have tried this when I was in high school, that thing would have been ripped off the wall and sent down the hallway.
Well, that has happened recently.
Has it?
When they
Ripped out of the boys' bed?
I forgot what school district it was, but that happened.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it was
I'll tell you.
Minnesota.
I'll tell
I'm
you
thinking
what.
it
If
was
the
Minnesota.
school,
I could be wrong though.
if the school called me up and said, "Mr. Parsons, you got to come in and see the principal because your son ripped a menstrual pad machine off the men's bathroom wall," I would go in there.
I'm in class.
I would go in there. I'd sit down with the principal and I'd say, "What happened?" Well, your son tore a menstrual pad machine off the bathroom wall. I'd reach in my wallet, grab a $100 bill, hand it to my son, and say, "Thank you. I'm proud of him."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I give him a standing ovation.
And pat him on the head.
I'm like, that's my boy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
That's my boy.
and I would say to the principal, and the problem is what exactly?
Exactly.
Send that thing flying down the hallway.
Hey, if you weren't gay, it wouldn't bother you. So this bill, championed by the Democrat Representative Maya Xinjiang of Warren.
Oh, I know that.
Mia Xinjiang of Warren, and co-sponsored by a group of like-minded Democrats.
She was one of the ones that were in that whole redistricting thing recently.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Was introduced November 26th in effort to ensure that every student has menstrual product, because we know boys bleed out the ass.
Yeah. if you're bleeding down there,
scaring me.
You better be going to the freaking hospital.
Too many gerbils.
Under the House bill, Michigan schools may be reimbursed for providing a free tampons and pads in at least one male-designated bathroom and a gender-neutral facility alongside a male bathroom. So listen, don't let boys pretend to be the girls. Go into the men's bathroom, and you won't have a problem. Right? 10 million pot came as a part of $17 billion school aid package. Listen.
Yeah, listen. If you're going into the men's bathroom and you're bleeding, if you're not going to the hospital, you go to the men's bathroom. You get what you deserve.
Now this is interesting because the superintendent of education in Oklahoma has decided that Bible studies needs to be taught in every classroom.
100%.
And he just put in an order for 55,000 plus Bibles to be purchased at a cost of $3 million. And he's got 30 different parents and educators filing suit against him to stop that because $3 million is too much to spend on Bibles. But they want to spend $10 million on freaking maxi pads for boys.
Yeah.
This is absurd.
Right. And
this is why Democrats aren't fit for office.
Well, that's why they're losing.
Right.
That's why they're fucking losing. That's why Trump kicked their fucking ass.
Correct.
Yeah.
In this past election.
2,600 counties in the country went for Trump, and 625 or something like that went for the Democrats.
They show the map. There's a meme and a hat and a shirt with the whole map. And it says, "Can you hear us now?" It's like Trump coverage. It says Trump coverage.
Yeah.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Because it's all fucking red.
Yeah, and the Democrats can hear us. They just don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
Because they're stupid.
Tim looked it up
but
for
they
me.
will learn.
Tim looked it up for me. The five longest filibusters in U.S. history. Here they are. The longest filibusters in American political history are measured in hours, not minutes.
Yeah.
Because they're long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody has some very small, very large bladders.
Strom Thurmond. I think that's one of the ones you were citing.
Yeah.
Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Oh, is he number one? Oh, I saw the five.
Like I said, it was the Civil Rights Act, or something like that.
I can start from the fifth. Okay, all right. Will Proximir. I like that name, Proximir. It feels like he's close to me.
He is full of cheese.
It feels like he's close to me. Proximir. Of
He's
Wisconsin spoke
approximately
for six. He's approximately He's in close proximity. So he spoke for 16 hours and 12 minutes.
How the fuck do you do that?
To stall a debate on increasing public debt ceiling in 1981.
Well, that was a good cause.
Good job.
Yeah,
Good job. Yeah.
That was a
His
good
rant was
cause.
the 5th longest filibuster. Yes, we know that. Thank you. Number 4, the record for the 4th longest. Blah 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 blah. Robert Le Follet. Robert Le Follet. Is that right? Am I saying it right?
La Follet.
La Follet. Senior. Wisconsin. Dude, you're not from Wisconsin. You should be down in
Lafayette.
Louisiana. You should be
That's
down in Louisiana.
another one
from Wisconsin.
Yeah, cheesehead.
Number 5 was from Wisconsin also.
Le Follet spoke.
Must be the fucking cheese.
He spoke 18 hours and 23 minutes for a debate.
Wisconsin, they call them Lafayette.
Le Folietti. Yeah. But they still said Favre instead of Favre. 18 hours and 23 minutes on debate of 1908. Debate of 1908. I like the way it rhymes. It sounds very tender.
Debate
Oh,
of
yeah.
1908.
Senator Rudd. Now, why did he do this? According to the records, first longer, it was to halt debate on the Aldrich Vreeland. That's should not go together.
Yeah.
No. Currency bill, which permitted the U.S. Treasury to lend currency to banks during fiscal crises. Oh, another good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck the banks.
That was a good cause.
All right, number 3. Wayne Morris. Did he?
He's not from Wisconsin.
Wayne Morris.
He's not from Wisconsin.
Wayne
and he
Morris.
has nothing to do with Morse code. Wayne Morris of Oregon.
Oregon.
Oregon. Described as a blunt-spoken, iconoclast populist, concluded the 3rd longest filibuster in American history. Morris is nicknamed the Tiger of the Senate.
Tiger.
He's got a tiger claw. Because he tended to thrive on controversy. He's like, you know what? You like it. I'm going to oppose it just because. Fuck you. Anyways, he certainly lived up to that moniker, and he was known to speak well into the night, daily, and when the Senate was in session. He liked to talk a lot. According to U.S. Senate archives, Morris spoke 22 hours and 26 minutes to stall debate on Title Land oil bill. So he was, in 1953, he was opposing Earl. He didn't want Earl to come forward. Number 2.
Alphonse
D'Amato. I know this fucking guy. U.S. Senator Alphonse D'Amato of New York. It conducted the 2nd longest filibuster because he fucking felt like it. He spoke for 23 hours and 30 minutes to stall debate on an important military bill. Listen, if you're going to do a filibuster, get a catheter. I'm just telling you. This is wise. Just wisdom right up front, right? And maybe do an enema just before you go in. Right?
Yes.
Right? Just clean everything out. Get a catheter going. You know what I'm saying?
When you got nothing else going on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday. Nothing else going on a Tuesday.
You're going to stand there for 23 and a half hours?
You got a free Tuesday.
Holy shit.
Ain't no fucking way.
You got a bladder the size of Toledo.
Got that right. Shit.
D'Amato was incensed about an amendment to the bill that would have cut off funding for a jet trainer plane built by a company headquartered in the state. He's like, fuck that. We're building this fucking jet. You guys ain't going to cut. You're not going to cut me out. These are my boys here. According to published reports, this was the only one of D'Amato's most famous and longest filibusters. In 1992, D'Amato held forth on a gentleman's filibuster for 15 hours and 14 minutes. He was up. Oh, this is a separate one. So the longest one was in 86.
23 hours and 30 minutes. That is fucking nuts.
That's a marathon. Now let's see what the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan did. Hillary Clinton's favorite guy, her mentor.
No, that was Robert Byrd.
No, Robert Byrd. Wrong guy.
Oh, Strom Thurmond. My bad. Who's Strom Thurmond?
Strom Thurmond he ran for the, if I'm not mistaken,
I apologize to Strom Thurmond family.
He ran for president on the, what party was that?
Gay party.
No, he was, shit. It was the,
but you're right. He was part of the reason I got it confused was because of the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah, it was, what was the name of the party?
I'm surprised that they don't list that whether they were Democrats or Republicans on here.
Well, he was a Democrat at the time.
Of course he was.
But he became a Republican later.
As you know, it only took a bullet to change Governor. The governor of
Alabama.
To get him to wake up and realize maybe I shouldn't hate black people because a white guy just shot me for my own party.
He was 101. He lived to be 101.
Yeah.
Right.
Stop coming. He ran as
he pissed into a bag, but yes.
I'm trying to think because he was the what was the name of the party he ran for? Because it wasn't a Democrat. He ran as the
he was a Republican.
He became a Republican.
He became a
afterward.
Republican.
He started as a Democrat though.
No, he was a Democrat until 1964 when he joined the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Right.
He ran for president in 1948 as a Dixiecrat.
Dixiecrat, thank you.
Dixiecrat.
Yeah.
The longest record. So he's from South Carolina. What's South Carolina? South Carolina is like
Foghorn Leghorn.
Listen, I'll say the record for the longest filibuster goes to strong U.S. Senator Strong Thurmond of South Carolina, who, according to the U.S. Senate records, spoke for 24 fucking hours and 18 minutes against the Civil Rights Act of 1957. You know, so
that was Eisenhower's time.
Yeah, it was Eisenhower. I'll tell you something. Thurmond began speaking at 8:54 on August 28th and continued until 9:12 the following evening, reciting the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and President George Washington's farewell address, among other historical documents. That guy was dedicated to not letting the Civil Rights Act go through.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this in all fairness.
It says here
the title of a lot of these acts.
The Civil Rights Act has some issues, obviously.
Well, it says
That's
here.
all I was going to clarify.
Yeah.
So I'm reading here what it says
Larry,
about
you
him.
confessed at the top of the show you can't read.
I learned since then.
You're a quick learner.
Yes,
We got to employ his skills in a lot of
It
other
says
areas.
here that he opposed the Civil Rights Act because of states' rights issues that he had with the Civil Rights Act.
Well, there you go.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, got to clarify what that means, though.
Right.
I mean, the problem
Might
is
have
the
to
Civil Rights
clarify.
Act did open the door to a lot of things that didn't have anything to do with.
It says here.
Right.
Despite
rights
his
for everybody,
support
right,
for
so.
racial segregation, Thurmond denied the accusation that he was a racist and insisted he was a supporter of states' rights and the opponent of excessive federal authority.
Yeah, the Civil Rights Acts had a lot of issues in them.
Well, it opened it can open the door because now you figure right. You look at what about all the transgender shit we're
Correct.
dealing with,
Right.
all of the gay rights shit we're dealing with now. That was a result of the Civil Rights Act.
Correct. Well,
So that opened the door to a lot of things.
Some of the big issues I've seen historically that have come up: the forced integration. Don't bus a bunch of kids from the other side of the city that don't have any correlation or any resonance with the kids from the other side. Don't force bus them over to the other side of the fucking city just to integrate. Make both schools on equal par and let them compete academically, sports wise, otherwise. Build them both up. Remove the fucking private sector from the ability to discriminate. Right? Don't have the whites only fucking shit in restaurants and say, look, we're not going to regulate you out of business like they want to do nowadays. But here's the thing. If you're going to be open for business, we got a few rules. You can't fucking discriminate who you're going to serve. If somebody walks in here of whatever ethnicity, you're going to fucking serve them because you know what? Their money's fucking green. Shut up. But then taking a bunch of kids that are not welcomed and are going to face a whole bunch of scrutiny from one school and busing them all across town to another school. No, build both fucking schools up. I have a problem with organized education on its surface.
And I will say that I was a victim of that.
Right. And did you enjoy being bussed across town to go to a school where you weren't wanted?
No, not at
You'd
all.
have been happier in your own school. And then look.
The point is, and here's the thing, right? I'm sorry not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
You're right. I mean, the point is, nobody took the time to invest the resources to make these schools better.
Right.
And it's the same thing today, right? Nothing's changed.
Correct.
In the education system. You know, we talk about, that the Department of Education, we abolished that because it did nothing for education.
Nothing. It did nothing.
I mean, the point is, like you said, make schools compete, make them, do the work to, I hate that term, but anyway, make them work to, earn the
100%,
earn the tax dollars of the citizens.
Exactly. Why are we used to have things like, we used to have sports things. I love that they're more integrated, not for the sake of integration.
Sports probably the biggest integration aspect of anything.
It's like, dude, you know what? What's the makeup of NFL teams, of basketball teams, of hockey teams, of baseball teams? Yeah. Why is that not reflected in our schools? Just naturally, because the players that are in these elite leagues are a reflection of athleticism.
Yeah.
They're not a reflection of ethnicity. Listen, you want a team full of great basketball players? It's going to be about 75% black. 90. It's going to be about 15% white, and it's going to be about 10% others. You got your Yao Mings, you got a few, other people in there. But that's not racial. That's the fucking facts.
Two things I got to say. First of all, I went to a school called the Hardeman Child.
Mm-hmm.
It was a military grade school. Okay. A lot of the students that were there were boarders. Probably 60, maybe 70% of the students that went there were African American.
Okay.
Right. I didn't see color.
No.
My best friends were guys who were awful dark. Okay. And I never saw it throughout my entire life. And it was something that exemplifies what we're discussing here. Is I've gone through some, workshops, and they had a workshop where they had, people lay down in a row, and then they have one person get up and walk down, and the facilitator would talk about the beauty of each creature, each person there, and noticing that everybody's skin color. And this picture really defines that, because I look at that and I say to you, find two people in that picture that have the exact same color skin. You cannot do it. Everybody's different.
Well, that's why I told him, I was like,
it's not
everybody's colored.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody. It's like the only person that's not colored if you look like this. If you look like this glass, okay, then you're not colored.
Yeah.
Everybody has fucking color.
Yeah.
So let's abolish all of these terms, abolish all of this crap about race and this, that, and the other. Until we get past that.
Heck, the worst language
language
you hear in this country is a rap song.
Is as their physical attributes,
right,
as opposed to their character, as opposed to what they bring to the table,
right,
as opposed to who they are. We're not gonna progress.
I say that each and every person in that picture,
all
their color of each and every one of their skins is different.
Yeah,
every one of them. And each one of them have several things in common. They all have similar dreams, goals, aspirations, need for love, wanting to be, empowered, and giving a little bit of a pat on the back and direction in life.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And when we boil down, what's amazing to me? One of the things I love is the more modern, more modern British movies. Right, like a lot of Guy Ritchie. Okay, so Guy Ritchie does a lot of them, right? Snatch is one of my favorites.
Snatch?
Yeah, you never seen it?
The name.
It's nice. It's about stealing a diamond, but
okay.
It's
not quite what I had in mind, but okay.
Exactly. Jason Statham, Brad Pitt, Franz. What was Franz's first name? He's an older actor. He was great. Anyways, it's a great movie. The black guy's in it, the white guy's in it, the other ethnicities in it, except for the Russian fucking guy. Everybody speaks the same language. They're all talking British. This is no fucking thing. It's only here in America where we have this disconnect, these dynamics of it. And I get it. If you study Thomas Sowell, and he dives into it deep. what was it called? Black rednecks and white.
Oh yeah, white liberals.
White liberals.
No,
White
black liberals and white redneck. Oh, whatever. I forgot. Yeah, I have the book. Yeah.
Thomas
I know
Sowell's
what
a
you're talking
great.
about. Yeah.
But he, I think it's in that book where
Black
he
liberals and
breaks
white
down.
rednecks
He
and
breaks
black
down
rednecks,
the ethnicity, the speech, where a lot of what we would consider to be black ebonics, I guess we would call that, where that speech comes from, and it has nothing to do with black. It's more of a French.
Well, it's
Creole.
more southern versus northern than it is black versus white.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting. But you do those dynamics, and I go, one of the things that kind of separates us as a country, which is unique, but it's also interesting, is and there's definitely nuances. All right.
Oh, absolutely.
There's people in northern Britain that can't understand people in southern Britain because they said something like that. I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting because I know he talked about, it was about the regions, and it's also about the time frame, right?
Mhm.
So there was a certain time frame. I forgot what the dividing line was, but basically, when the southern Scottish and the northern British, right?
Right.
That was a time frame,
Right.
a certain time frame with education. Basically, they were educated.
Yes.
And once they immigrated, that's when the changes came.
There was huge.
But the southern basically came from that pre-education time. And that's
Right.
what,
Well,
that's what you got.
and
But they say basically the blacks and the whites were pretty much the same at
Right.
that point in the South
Exactly.
versus the North.
And we
right?
forget that the Louisiana Purchase was from Louisiana, from Lewis. It was French. So I mean, throughout that whole area was French dominated. And people will go, well, there's also Native Americans. I'm like, do some studying on the Native Americans. All right, there were not only were the Native Americans speaking French and a whole bunch of other languages that they supposedly shouldn't have been speaking because Columbus didn't come here until 1492. Bullshit. Do some study. All right, Leif Erikson was coming across long before that, the Vikings and everything like that. But they found that the Native Americans throughout Florida, that whole area in Florida and beyond, were speaking Hebrew. We won't even go there.
I kind of like this symbolism here. I want to show you this.
What's
This is that picture I was showing you here. Okay?
Yeah.
Next picture over is a turtle. Look what it says on the turtle.
What's it say?
Is that real?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you know that I just learned this a couple weeks ago? The turtle shell. What was it? I just learned this. That's what gave me. The turtle shell is in line with the zodiac. I want to say the zodiac signs.
Okay, I didn't know that.
There's 12 plates, and there's the dynamic of of all turtle shells is aligned with our. So the sun is there to tell us the day. The moon is there to tell us the month, and the stars are there to tell us the seasons.
Yeah.
And the turtle shell is in alignment with that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll look that up again because I just heard it the other day. I was listening to it, and they touched on it and showed a graphic, and it was pretty sweet. I love that, Dale. You pointed out earlier. Russia has more gun rights than we do because they have less restrictions. It's not more gun rights, but I understand your phraseology. They have less restrictions, which is what the Constitution was supposed to do, was limit government. I have two quick things. We're going to go to final thoughts. The YMCA, the writer of the YMCA, the Village People founder, says Trump can continue to use YMCA and decries the song being labeled as a gay anthem. He's like, and he's the guy in the police outfit.
I just love how the gay assume everything is theirs.
They do.
Yeah.
Listen, they assume that
they stole the rainbow.
Dude, I put up the egg. I put up a picture of an egg that I've used for like the last 5 years of this egg being broken open and all the colors, light colors coming out of it. They tried to. They're like, what was it? The Saggies?
Oh yeah, the Saggies.
They're like, look, they're coming up. So I lampoon the fuck out of them. I'm like, yeah. We also listened to the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon album, and because it's a rainbow coming through the prism, that means we must have been gay all along listening to Pink Floyd. Backfired on the stupid fuckers. So here, look at the Village People. All right. They certainly look gay. at least to the gays, because they want to assimilate anything and make it gay so that they can destroy it.
Yeah.
Just like the rainbow, which is God's sign that he will never destroy the earth with water.
Yep.
They want to assimilate that. But here's the thing. All those guys singing those songs, you want to consider them gay, but nobody wants to talk about wrestling where they wear the skimpiest fucking little suits and go in to grab each other by the crotch and throw each other around. I've never heard anybody say that wrestling, professional wrestling, which is soap opera for, I don't know, macho people. I don't know. I think about this, and I was into wrestling when Hulk Hogan, and I go back and I watch it now, and I go, "Holy shit, dude! This is borderline pornographic." These fucking, I mean, the balls on these guys to go out there and show their balls. You know. So, anyways, here's the Victor Wilson of the Village People.
Is that the policeman?
Yes, he's the policeman.
Okay.
The Village People co-founder and singer issued a lengthy statement on Facebook Sunday explaining he's fine with President Donald Trump playing it YMC. I don't know if this is his exact voice, but I'm trying. At his rallies and pushing back against the mainstream, saying, "Listen, motherfuckers, this ain't about gay." The message began, "Since 2020, I received over 1,000 complaints about President Trump-elect's use of YMCA. With that many other complaints, I decided to ask President-elect to stop using YMCA because his use became a nuisance to me. However, the use continued because Trump campaign knew that they had obtained the political use license by BMI, bowel movement instigation. And absent that license being terminated, they had every right to use it, and they did.
It's a British music institution.
Thank you.
Is that what it is?
Wilson continued, saying he told his wife on day one that Trump seems to be genuinely like it. He likes the YMCA. I mean, listen, this white cracker from fucking wherever he's from, New York, and then down living in Florida, he likes this shit. He's having a lot of fun with it. He didn't have the heart to prevent Trump's continuous use of the song. The singer asked BMI and his business partners in France to withhold from withdrawing the Trump campaign's use of it. YMC has benefited greatly from use of the president-elect. For example, YMCA struck number 2 on the Billboard charts prior to president-elect's use. However, the song finally made it to number 1 on the Billboard charts after 45 years and held number 1 for 2 weeks during the president-elect's use. Tell me Trump isn't a badass.
Oh my God.
So what he said, there's been a lot of talk, especially of late, that the
$7
YMCA
million.
is somehow a gay
Wow.
anthem.
Really?
Several $1 million, dude. He's like,
Wow.
you know what, Trump? Keep using my song.
Yeah, no shit. I tell you what, that is the great equalizer.
Trump plays your song and you get paid.
Exactly. He said there's been a lot of lately talking about somehow it's a gay anthem. I've felt that sometimes during the Trump rallies. I'm watching them on TV or being there. I'm like, we're going down to the YMCA and getting
just listen to the
inappropriately.
Get with the boys. You can get clean.
But that's
Just listen-
the point.
Just
That's
listen
because
to the
gays
lyrics.
assimilate it, right?
So listen what the actual writer said. He said, I have said numerous times in the past that is a false assumption based on the fact that my writing partner was gay. And some, not all of the Village People were gay. And that the first Village People album was totally about gay life. Get your minds out of the gutter. You got to do that like a Detroit preacher, right? Get your minds out the gutter. Wilson told individuals who assert the song is inherently gay because of YMCA and was apparently being used as some sort of gay hangout.
No.
He stated, sadly, when President-elect stated using the song, people attempted to brand the song as some gay anthem reaching a fervor pitch, as many used to say it. Oh, Trump don't know the song is a gay anthem. This was done in a manner to attempt to shame President-elect's use of the song. As I stated on numerous occasions, I knew nothing about why being a hangout for guys when I wrote lyrics to the YMCA, and Jacques Mirel, who was gay, never once stated such to me. In fact, Jacques, It is gay. There's the name. Never told me how to write my lyrics. Otherwise, I would have said to him, "Don't be gay." Why don't you simply write it? Anyways, so co-founder of YMCA or co-writer of YMCA and co-founder of the Village of People said,
"Yeah,
use my song, President Trump, and I will just
he's
quietly rake the money in."
He's done with it for now. I don't think he, as he said in Grand Rapids at 2:30 in the morning, this will be my last
YMCA.
His last
Big rally.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe his big. Well, his last big presidential campaign rally. Right. This guy's.
Yeah, I don't think he can let that go.
Trump's going to get in there and go, you know what? We took a little break from the campaigning, but now we're back because we're going to make America great again. Last one before we go to final thoughts.
Well, before you bounce,
Well,
just let me give you 4 or 5 paragraphs of, young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself up off the ground. I said, young man, because there's a new, you're new in town. There's no need to be unhappy. There's a place you can go. I said, young man, if you're short on your dough, you can stay there, and I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Yeah. They have everything for you men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. That's probably the only gay-ish paragraph right there.
No, but he clarified in the statement. I didn't read it. When he said boys, he said that was a reference specifically to black men being. He's like my boys.
Black men, my boys.
Yeah, it was nothing gay about it. It was literally. Yeah, go continue.
Yeah, he just didn't drop an N-word. He just says, boys.
It was not time for rap yet.
Yes. Yeah. Can obviously these boys aren't necessarily, well taken care of. So they said, you can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Young man, are you listening to me? Hey, listen. I said, young man, what do you want to be? You can make real your dreams, but you got to know one thing: no man does it all by himself. This is a very encouraging and uplifting words of wisdom kind of song.
100%.
It's not close. I said, young man, put your pride on the shelf. Holy fuck. And just go to the YMCA. I'm sure they can help you today. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA. And
they have everything you men to enjoy. You
100%.
can hang out with all the boys. Yep.
And for clarification.
Yeah.
And for clarification.
Yeah.
Young YMCA,
Young Men Christian of America Association, right? Yeah. Association. You know what, young man? I was once in your shoes. I said I was down with them blues. I felt no man cared if I were alive. I felt the whole world was so jive. That's when someone came up to me and said, young man, walk up the street. There's a place there called the YMCA. They can start you back on your way. So, I mean, the whole relatability, the whole story, I don't see, Dewey in the butt anywhere in that song.
No, I don't see it. Which one do you want, Larry?
I was just going to say, if you want to do
your pack off.
Yeah, I turned it off so I could try and talk to you.
Yeah. What do you want, Gretchen?
Well, I was just going to say, just do a lightning round through the headlines and tell people where to go.
The Midwesterner. I also like people to go to this one, Michigan's News Source.
Yeah.
They don't post a lot, but what they do post, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then go to the Midwesterner.
Yeah. You'll see some of the same stories.
Midwesterner, the Midwesterner.news.
Michigan, whoops. Michigan House.
I get
see it right there. Michigan House Committee rams through bill to release 7,000.
Speaking of not being gay, ramming through a bill.
Ramming through a bill.
7,000 what?
7,000 violent offenders. Democrats want to release them early.
But not the Jan Sixers.
But not the Jan.
No, Jan Sixers. No, probably illegals.
Mm-hmm.
Newcomers.
Goshen High Tech
Newcomers.
partners with Chinese university accused of cyber attacks. High level of defense research. Surprise there. Oh, my bad. I didn't. Let's see here. I don't want to go through those. Michigan Democrat law. We talked about the tampons in boys' bathrooms because that's inappropriate. Gretchen Schitsmeer refuses repeated media requests to discuss long-term solution to fix the damn roads. You know why? Because it was just a campaign slogan.
Oh, of course.
Promises made, not fulfilled.
Yeah, of course.
Dem Rep bill requires all new houses to have electric vehicle charging stations.
Fake
Go
news.
fuck yourself.
Fake news. That's bullshit.
You don't think the Dems are pushing that?
Oh, I'm sure they're pushing it, but it's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jim Remstead exposes falsehood on Senator Sarah Anthony during testimony on gun bill ban. Should I click on that one or no?
Sure, I'd click if you sure. Why
All
not?
right, let's click on that one. See what we got. Let's go down the rabbit hole. There's
There's
Senator
our buddy.
Rumstead.
Yeah.
We like Rumstead. Why has he not been on the show, Larry? I'm going to blame you, and then I'm going to kill you. If you guys, I'm not really going to kill Larry. If you don't know that quote, that is from A Few Good Men from Jack Nicholson. If he doesn't make 6.6 on his next proficiency and conduct report, I'm going to blame you, and then I'm going to kill you. Go watch the movie. All right. Michigan State Senator Jim Rumstead, Republican White Lake, is calling out the Republican lies in Lansing.
Democrat lies.
Democrat lies. During a recent hearing in the Senate Civil Rights, Judiciary, and Public Safety Committee. That's a mouthful of a fucking committee.
Yeah.
Civil Rights, Judiciary, and Public Safety.
Yes.
Those should be separate.
That's a hell of a combination. There.
Senator Sarah Anthony, Democrat, Lansing, testified that firearms were pointed at lawmakers during the 2020 Capitol protest.
News.
Fucking bullshit.
Fake news.
Our sergeants and police officers do vital, important work. Oh, this is Rumstead saying it. Our sergeants and police officers do vital, important work to keep lawmakers safe, and is a responsibility that they do not take it light. There's a responsibility to do not take. See, this is what I fuck up when I don't do a
he was doing a podcast of his own, the Rumstead Report.
Yeah, we actually had some discussions. I talked with him, and I talked with his chief of staff about how to set it up. At one time, they thought about coming here, but he's a little ways away. During my time in Lansing, I've had the privilege of getting to know these hardworking individuals, and they will do whatever is necessary to ensure elected officials can perform their duties securely. And as a strong supporter of the Second Amendment rights, I take all allegations involving forcible use of firearms very seriously. Anyway, so this Democrat bitch lied, and Rumstead set her straight. That's my conclusion.
Fake news.
Fake fucking
She's
news.
fake news.
Fake news. All right, so we covered the Village People saying, use our songs. We make money.
Yeah. Matt Hall blasts GM's plan to sell a stake in the EV battery plant, but keep hundreds of millions in taxpayer incentives.
Isn't that what GM does?
Well,
rips
the
off
point
the
is, you should
public?
have gave them to him in the first place.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Isn't GM's philosophy of get a bailout and blow it wherever we can?
Yeah, I stumbled across the NPR on my trip back from down south. I know that's the exact proper response. That's like saying I was sprayed by a skunk. You know, you're like, oh, you stumbled around the NPR. Oh, I'm sorry. And they had a story about that.
The EV plant,
the EV, the EV desire of population, and how EV builds were needing to go into houses, and multifamily units, and how retrofitting was more expensive than just building it in new, and
redesign the state flag.
surveys that were taken on
probably want to put rainbow in it.
Yeah,
surveys that were taken on the population of multifamily units, about 35% of surveyed multifamily unit residents wanted EV stations instead of being public to actually be built into the complexes. So that's the latest number.
I know the fucking local Ford dealership. They had to spend like $1 million to put in a charging station.
Yeah.
It's a fucking fiasco.
Yep.
They can't sell these fucking electric cars.
Nope.
Nobody wants them.
Nope.
You know? You want to
Because they're not realistic.
They're not realistic, dude.
No.
I thought about it today. I saw a fucking Tesla behind me riding my ass. I'm like, are you in a hurry, buddy? I wasn't going slow. I was going where I needed to go. And this guy, like, I thought he was on a 2-foot tether on my fucking tailgate. I'm like, really, dude? So when I got to my driveway, I turned my signal on way early. I just let off the gas and just coasted for a while. No, because this fucking dude for like 3 lights was just on my ass. Like I do pretty good in my truck. I have a F-150 with a sport mode on it, and I'm usually always in sport mode. So I like to take off. I don't like to throw people in the back seat, but I like to take off. And this fucking guy, I realized, I'm like, dude, you've been consistently on my ass the entire time. I don't drive like that. If somebody's ahead of me and they're accelerating, I accelerate at my normal pace. And I'm like, okay. So I turned down my road, which a whole bunch of extra fucking people now use because of the light at the end of my road. And I'm like, okay, come up my road, turn signal, let off the gas, suck it. That's exhaust fumes going into your fucking vent on your electric car.
Yeah. Suck it up.
And I nicely turned in at my normal. I didn't do anything different than I normally did, except I turned on my signal a little bit early and I let off the gas. Like, okay, buddy. But what bothers me about the electric cars is they don't have their own independent way of regenerating their energy. Now, they could say that.
I don't mind the hybrids.
No, the hybrids are great. My mother-in-law has a hybrid Escape. It's fucking awesome. She gets like 80 miles a gallon. She does. She doesn't plug it in. There's no plug-in for it. It's a hybrid. But she'll drive her. I ride around with her periodically if we're going to get small stuff. I'll jump in the car with her, and we'll go through the whole town. And the fucking thing never kicks over the motor because her batteries are doing it. And then every once in a while, it'll kick over. Like, okay, it's cool. Hybrid. I think hybrids are kick-ass. I think hybrids are very kick-ass.
Here's my thing. It's all about choice. If you want to buy a fucking electric vehicle, buy an electric vehicle. 100%. If you want to buy a hybrid, buy a hybrid. Right. If you eschew both of those, you want a gasoline, then let that be your choice. That is my philosophy.
100%.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Exactly. You know? And we know for a fact, you being in automotive, we know for a fact that the gasoline engine has been bastardized and suppressed. There have been multiple people that have introduced adaptations, other mechanisms on the internal combustion engine that have made them extremely efficient. What is it? Like 80% of the fuel is lost in the fumes and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And there's been something like that.
Something
they're highly inefficient right now.
Relatively speaking.
And people have come out. There was guys out of Canada
they'll say that. I mean, it's
we'll
electric that much more efficient.
What I'm saying is that what we have.
There's a lot of losses. Granted, yeah, absolutely.
There have been guys that have no backing, no corporate, no nothing, that have come up with a little adapter on a carburetor to make it 100 times, where you went from 20 miles a gallon to 80 miles a gallon. And you know what they did? The big corporations pushed them out, or the government came in and seized it, because they want to vilify it and make it inefficient, so they can push these other agendas. You know why? Because the gasoline-powered engine is today's horse. It is the one thing that makes us the most free. You look at other countries throughout the world, their inability to travel. It's in our fucking Constitution, right?
Yeah.
The right to what is it? The third in the Bill of the Right, and then we'll go to final thoughts.
I
know
having the freedom to move is huge, right? That is the definition of freedom, in my opinion.
Yes, exactly. It's number 4, right? The right of the people to be secure in their persons and houses and papers and effects against unreasonable search and seizure. No, it was free travel. Where's free travel at?
I don't think that's an amendment. I think that's the right to free travel. I think is written in the Constitution. I don't think it's an amendment.
Is it straight up in the Constitution?
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I was at a loss on it. Anyways,
But either way, like
the
I
right
said,
for free,
we are free.
free passage.
Yeah.
And America has been the number one.
And the gasoline engine was the catalyst for that.
It's the horse of our, but I mean, the horse was the epitome of the 1800s. Was the horse, the train to a certain extent, but tracks. But I mean, the horse, and now that's why we couch it in horsepower, right, for our engines. But the right to just get, I mean, the amount of guys that want to just get in their vehicle and open it up
and go.
You know, the guys that want to get on their motorcycle and just open it up and go. That is one of the biggest expressions of the freedom that our founding fathers fought for, was just to be able to get it, dude, whether it's on a horse, on a motorcycle, in a car,
wherever,
to get out on the road and just go for a drive. I got buddies that love to I got one of my bandmates. He's like, I'm like, what are you doing today? Well, I'm going for a ride with my buddies before the weather got real cold. He's like, oh, I'm going for a ride. Just get on a motorcycle. They just go ride. Larry goes rides with his newly found brothers. You know, gets on his motor. It's just about that freedom of expression, and you don't get that with you can only go 300 miles before you got to recharge.
You have limitations.
You gotta, listen, I'll find out, dude. Out west, they got fucking a sign. This is the last fucking gas station for 300 for whatever 100 miles. Better fuel up, motherfucker. Yeah. And you go, okay, I'm gonna fuel up, but then I'm gonna take that 100 miles and it's mine.
Yep. It's all mine.
Freedom of expression.
And I don't have to worry about charging stations.
Exactly. Well, they spent what, $7 billion and built
$8 billion and built
$8 billion. Three
I think.
stations.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
No, two.
And they don't
two
work.
stations.
2 or 3 stations.
And they don't work.
And they don't work.
And they don't work.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's good stuff.
That's your efficient government at work.
100%.
Yeah, actually, I think one of them they built in a floodplain, and 90% of the time it's underwater.
That's government efficiency.
And there's a problem, right? Because last time, correct me if I'm wrong, there were no subsidies for gas stations.
No.
That came about organically because there was a demand.
There's a demand. That's free
isn't
market.
a demand for
No, there's no
gas
demand
stations.
for electric cars.
Because nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it.
You know.
Nobody
I
wants
mean,
it.
fine. I mean, when you get old
There's some people that want it,
want
but
to
it's not
travel
enough to
somewhere,
justify it.
and you don't need a vehicle where you can just hop in it and go to Florida, or tow a jet ski to the lake.
See, I agree with that. It's, if you're like my mother's age, 90 years old,
Yeah.
and you move into a condo in Ann Arbor, and you don't go anywhere other than Ann Arbor, an electric car would be
For
freaking
city
perfect.
driving,
Yeah,
perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You know,
Yeah,
never have
like-
to go to a gas station. She doesn't know how to put gas in a car. You know, so
Right.
it's.
But I
so
mean, she could
goes
also
in her garage. She plugs her car in. She goes
Right.
in for the night. You know, that's for that
So-
person.
Yeah, for that
works
person, it works out great.
Yeah.
And
For
so-
me, not so much.
so
I
here's
live in the country.
Yeah.
You know, I drive all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I pull trailers. You know, so I mean, I have zero interest in an electric vehicle.
Right.
Zero.
Right.
Zero.
They're useless.
Yeah.
Last thing, Chad Cronister.
Cronister, yeah.
He was the sheriff down in Florida who arrested pastors
pastor.
and a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
He withdraws his name from the DA pick, which
Good.
is good. Which is good.
Good. Absolutely.
I think there's a couple other people that need. I liked Matt Gaetz,
Yes.
but then there's a few other people that have withdrawn their name.
Who else was you?
Goodbye. I'm trying to think of the guy off top. We're past 11 and my brain's every once in a while the brain gets a little empty. Look at
I've taken
the brain gets empty. Tim's taking 3 naps over there.
3 naps over here.
All right.
There's a couple drops in there. The brain's got a couple drops.
It might have a couple drops.
Has anybody signed yet?
Let's go
We're
overhead.
signing out.
Let's get the signatures and then whoever wants to start.
Damn, dude, you're going to milk that for all you can get, huh?
Yeah, well, it's good to last drop.
One more. There it is. You see it? I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna get. There it is.
There's another one coming.
One more.
All right. My final thought is stay tuned. It's gonna get better, folks.
What's gonna get better?
Oh,
Butter better?
the entertainment.
Oh,
You know, the libtards melting down. I just watched a video over the weekend, sat down with my family and watched a video of a bunch of libtards out on Lake Michigan screaming at the water. It was great.
They probably
they're all
signed
standing there.
They probably signed the petition that said dihydrogen monoxide is bad.
Oh, and also the B4 movement has actually
become the after movement?
expanded. Now these libtard chicks.
Yeah.
Ooh, what the fuck?
The
Oh, is that the one
B4
that's
movement.
shaving their heads?
They're
and that
shaving
one?
their heads and refusing to have sex.
Well,
now
you
they're-
know what? Those
now
are the ones
they're-
I don't want to have sex
now
with. So
they're-
fine.
they're getting divorced from their husbands and
Really?
they're sterilizing themselves.
Hell
I heard about that. Yeah. It's like,
Good. Let's not reproduce that.
Nice little retard contender.
you know what? You're not reproducing. We're better off. I mean, that's the way you want to resign your. That's what you want to resign your life
I mean,
to?
take
That's
a
your
look at
business,
them,
but-
man. I mean, they're.
But it's
Are
like,
you kidding me?
Yeah, nobody wants
nobody wanted
to
to
get into that. Trust me. Yeah.
There's a lot of men
No
out
one's
there
interested.
A lot of men out there that said, no,
Thank you.
pass.
There ain't enough 6-packs for that.
Exactly. Patrick, final thoughts, my friend.
Oh, you know, my final thoughts were always around voting and getting out there and being involved, and now I'm over it all. I'm totally over it all. At this point, as Larry said, it's just sit back and watch the entertainment. And,
Right.
and I will say, prayers for our country still, and prayers for the new administration, and mostly prayers for Donald Trump.
Yes.
Because things are going to get dicey. And, I do believe there will probably be more attempts on his life. So,
Right. We speak protection.
yeah,
100%.
yeah,
I agree.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, and I like that. And you know what? It occurred to me when you said that, Patrick, is we need to withdraw from the political establishment, but stay completely connected to the political grassroots movements.
Yeah.
And that's difficult sometimes because we don't always know how to act unless we have a organizing group to help us figure things out. But the more we don't have a fundamental understanding today of what it really means to be we the people without a organizing overarching governmental body to dictate those parameters.
Yeah.
But we need to come together as we the people in a if I can say it this way, a disorganized or not overly organized group, but still being able to coalesce. That's one of the things I strive to do here at the Man Cave. You guys know this, but we just gather of all walks of life and have discussions. It's amazing for me to host a party here and just watch different groups different people that I'm connected with, then connect with each other. Oh, who are you? Oh, I'm blah blah blah, and they do this, and then I hear later, oh, I met so and so at your place, and we were talking over there by the bar. We were having a good time. I'm like, that's what it's about. It's disorganized connection to we the people. Norris, final thoughts.
Agree with Pat. Pray for our president, pray for our country. There'll be some tumultuous times coming up, but with that, also decompress and enjoy this time in between. Right. We've had Thanksgiving. We were thankful.
Amen.
We have Christmas coming up where we will celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior and everything that came through him. And then also New Year's where we will look at renewal and, looking forward to what can be. So, I will say, yes, let's not forget where we are, but also let's just relax and enjoy the downtime, decompress and be thankful and, remember what things truly are important.
Yeah.
Right. Our Savior, our families, everything else. Right. So let's not forget that. Let's enjoy those times. And then come the new year, then we can worry about these other things, right? We can worry about the things that are coming forward.
If you don't take time to enjoy the spoils of the battle in the moments, What are we fighting for? You know, we have to take the time. You don't overly celebrate. You don't overly get it. You know, I get annoyed when they celebrate overly in a football game. Like, dude, you're down 10 points and you just celebrated the one tackle that you finally got. Stop it. You know, high five one of your guys, but don't do a fucking dance right there between plays because you stop the guy. All right.
Yeah.
Let's save the celebrating for the end of the game, you know, and let's do it right. Yeah. Not the Michigan Ohio State.
Yeah, but like game. I say, but just enjoy family. Let's enjoy our friendships. 100%. Let's take this time to just relax and make the best of it, and then come the new year we can start fighting the new battles.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Enjoy the victories, but then don't put your sword down. You know, enjoy the victories. Agree 100%. Hey, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up, guys. Appreciate everybody being on the checking us out tonight, and then everybody that's going to check us out on the rebroadcast and all that stuff. We appreciate all of you. We will get Mr. Coffee back or
one day
Mr. Coffee Light in here to monitor the chat a little bit. You know, part of the chat really rolls really well when he's here because he stirs up the chat too.
Good point.
He gets a little feisty in the chat. But thank you guys all for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. And I don't think I have anything else to say.
Donate.
Oh, Tim's going to throw up the QR codes over there. Probably, maybe. We'll see. But thank you all for tuning in. We had fun. I hope you had fun tuning in. We like to be entertaining as well as have a good conversation and enjoy ourselves. I haven't done Joe Pesci in a long time. That's usually fun. Oh, the reason I bring that is because when I'm hanging out with a lot of my hockey guys, every once in a while I just bring up in the locker room. Part of the reason I like doing the podcast is this is an extension of what I do with all of my different groups of friends. I'm like, just like this. I'm like, dude, half the people that I go, why don't you come on my podcast? They're like, no. I'm like, dude, we would just do what we just did for 20 minutes. We just had this conversation. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, you'll forget the cameras. There's the QR codes on there. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Pray for Trump's safety. Enjoy your family, as Norris said. And Patrick, what did Larry say?
I don't know, some bullshit.
He's getting to know you very well. Love you all. We'll catch you next time. We're out of here.
This is my brain.
Dad, that's an egg. Yeah, that's an egg.
Honey,
dude,
that's an egg.
Seriously.
That's an egg.
It's a metaphor.
It's still an
Or
egg.
say Emma.
That's an egg.
I would challenge you.
That's an egg.
Hello.
I know my brain is not actually an egg, okay? It's a metaphor.
Metaphor or not, that's not your brain.
It's just an egg.
Una cerveza para mí. My egg is my brain.
Can I at least have some bacon, maybe some sausage with that egg, though?
Oh, I want some bacon.
Whoops, my mic was open.
Have some bacon and pancakes with that egg.
I'll take it with cheese.
Extra large brown cage-free eggs.
Can I have your brain with hot cakes?
A sausage and a little toast and potato.
That would be great.
Does it have antibiotics?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at this shit.
Well, they got to be able to resist some diseases.
You resist the disease.
Has it got any hormones?
Maybe. It's cage free.
Vegetarian?
Maybe.
Are they vegan?
No, I eat steak.
Never apologize and never explain.
Never apologize.
Yeah. Never apologize and never explain.